thank you for joining us for session number 2 of the Unsung Tales in the One Ring 2nd Edition. And this is a actual play on the Happy Jacks RPG network. To find all the sessions of this game, visit happyjacks.org/unsungtales, without the. And to find all of the shows on the Happy Jacks network, please go to happyjacks.org. My name is Kimi. I will be your Loremaster for this session. And please know that we are using safety tools during this game. We've done lines and veils. We talked about those in our first session, if you want to kind of review what those were. We also have X cards in play at all times, and we all kind of like know where the boundaries are because of those safety tools. And let's talk to our players and see who they are in this amazing adventure. Let's start on this side of the table.
Who am I? I'm Sam, allegedly, and I play Runa of Bree, who is a treasure hunting Barding and agent of chaos.
Yes, love to see it. Hi everybody, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns, and I'm playing Aerlind of Mithlond, a Lindon elf who is just really loves the sound of his own voice and ships, as I was just saying.
Howdy folks, I'm Jay, he, him, and I am playing Burl Sausage Brandy-bottom, a Hobbit of the Shire and a messenger, also he, him.
And I am Kadave, and I'm playing Hannar. Gosh. Literally everybody else's character name ran through my head before I got to my own character. Okay, all right, I'm gonna fix it, I swear. He, him, and he, him, character and me. And I'm a dwarf of Durin's folk.
Excellent. All right, so this is our second play session. Feels weird, but third play session.
Third.
Yeah, but that's with session 0.
Yes.
So, yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So, quick recap
Wait.
for what happened
No,
last
that's the
time.
third.
This is the third
Yeah,
place.
it's just their time.
Is
I
it?
just
Yeah.
Is it?
because we
Yeah.
had number 1
Oh,
when
yeah.
Jay couldn't
I
make
was
it.
in, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And we had
This
one
is
here with
3.
Jay. This is number 3. I'll
Mhm.
change the
Count
title
good.
later.
Okay.
If you're watching live, it's not session 2.
Thank you for joining us for session 3 of the Unsung Tales. Totally perfect. No notes. Okay. Thank you. That does make more sense. I was suddenly like, wait a minute. So yeah, recapping. It all kind of blurs together. What happened last session? Okay.
Do you want me to recap?
You can if you like, or I can do it, or if someone else has stuff to throw in.
You do it.
Okay. So last time on the Unsung Tales, you finally made it to Bree, and you met up with your friend Sausage. And Sausage was there. You had a lovely time visiting with Runa's grandmother. Her mother was out of town. Her grandmother made lots of wonderful food for you.
Lots of food.
Lots of food.
There you go.
There you go. And you did some resting because the 3 of you had a really long journey to meet up with Sausage. And then you decided that, you're going to make your way up to Creek's Crossing, which is the town that we've kind of created that is near your Rune Fortress, which is your safe haven. And you decided you were going to go up there because you had an inkling, maybe not, from your patron telling Sausage to tell you all to get your butts up there. So you had a journey up to Creek's Crossing. You had some events happen there. You're also still kind of seeing the trickle of this like darkness, this problem that's kind of been permeating your journeys. That's a little bit unusual, especially for like in the Shire, which is generally a very safe place to travel. And you made it back up to Creek's Crossing. You found out that there were some problems there. They had a bridge that got burned down quite some time ago. That was in our backstory. And they've been trying to rebuild it. And some problems have happened with that, with some of the materials going missing, some of their equipment going missing to do that effort. A lot of new laborers have been brought in to help with that are strangers in town. And there just seems to be something sort of shady going on. And you found out that your friend Yam, who is the reeve there, he's up for election soon, and it doesn't seem to be going well because of these delays and problems with the bridge. So you have a sneaking suspicion that this is not an accident, that these are not as coincidental, things are just going missing as you thought. you have started doing some investigation. So Hannar went up and kind of was looking along the tree line in the forest. He did find a trail where some of the equipment had been dragged, but he went kind of far by himself and then was like, I probably shouldn't go all the way by myself. So he very wisely came back. You also investigated the tavern, and you talked and got some information from the tavern mistress there. And you also did some investigation with people in the area and kind of doing some reconnaissance on the new people who are in town, who all happen to be staying at the evil landlord's home. So that is everything that happened. And I'm going to have you.
It's kind of like the evil landlord's Airbnb, right? It's
Yeah,
not,
yes.
It's not their actual residence.
No.
Right, yeah.
The evil landlord, and I literally, like, my little booklet, I have to run and grab it just because it's sitting right inside the door of my home. He owns 3 different homes in town, which is a really big deal because this is a very rustic place. Like, this place makes Bree look like a big urban modern development. And so the fact that this evil landowner, and he is viewed as evil by the people there. This is not like a giveaway. Like, he's the miserly person who owns 3 houses, lives in one of them, and has a bunch of like fancy glass and windows and stuff like that. And then this is the one that he kind of bought out from someone else, and is sort of doing the Airbnb thing, like you said, where he's now kind of basically put the actual inn and tavern almost out of business by renting these rooms at like a lower price, but with like no amenities or accommodations or food or anything like that. So there's a lot of kind of strangers that are staying in there that it's like messing with the town a little bit. Some of them they're there like to work on the bridge, but now this keeps getting delayed, so they're just kind of hanging about. So you did some information gathering on that. Some feedback I got from the amazing people in the One Ring Discord. Our journey mechanic that we came up with last time with doubling the hexes is not wrong, but it's also not right.
Okay.
So there's been like a kind of a debate in there. People are like, well, that's not against the rules. Like, they didn't specify that. That doesn't seem wrong. So some people are like really like it, and some people are like, well, you're not really supposed to do that. So we're gonna keep going with it. Especially in areas you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Because basically what happens is you're supposed to do the journey, and then you just have the time at the end, which basically means if you're on horseback, you're spending less time, but you're getting the same amount of events as if you were on foot.
Yeah.
So it means events happen twice as often if you're on a horse.
That seems unlikely.
Which seems definitely unlikely.
Huh.
Like, a lot of people are like, well, horses like draw more attention. It's like,
Yeah, they're loud.
You gotta be on the road.
they are, but they also, you're moving a lot faster.
Yeah.
So the chances
Yeah.
of you being noticed are less. And also, you're much bigger, so like random things like predators and things are probably actually going to be much less likely to come after you if you're on, especially with 4 people on horses, or 3 people on horses, and an elf who walks like as fast as horses. So that's what we're going to do. That's going to be kind of like our home rule for this, since it's not like breaking the rules, it's just reading things into them.
It's an interpretation of the rules.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking. So that's what we're going to do. When you're in areas that are familiar to you, we're going to use the double hex rule. When you're in areas that are dangerous or unfamiliar to you, we'll use the rules kind of as written, because it makes more sense that you might come up against more events in unfamiliar areas.
Mm-hmm.
When you're riding through the Shire between your houses, it seems unlikely you're going to have like events every like 3 times a day, especially on the road and horseback. So that's cool. I've given you your advancement points, which is 3 skill points and 3 adventure points for this last session. You can go ahead and spend them. We will, actually, you know what? We are not in the middle of like a specific combat, so go ahead and spend them right now, because we are in the town of Creek's Crossing, and you all are about to meet up after your individual investigations from last time. So it makes sense that you might, I don't know, have picked something up, or maybe you read a book overnight about, oh, this is a cool technique in combat, or whatever. Something else I'd really, excuse you, or me. Excuse you, me. One thing I would like to kind of focus on tonight too, if you can point out or share with me right now your distinctive features and your traits. Why don't we go and why don't you spend your points first? And if you've already decided what you want to spend them on, or if you don't want to spend them, if you want to save them, the way this works is you can spend your skill points in training. For your first new skill level, it costs 4 points. You should definitely have that now. You should have about 6 now, since we've had two previous play sessions. I really should have figured out what session we were on when I was telling you about the points and how many you've earned.
It's all good.
Should have known. And then for your growth, as far as you spend your adventure points on combat proficiencies, and to gain a new rank in either valor or wisdom. So your first one, you can spend. You can't gain valor or wisdom, but for your second valor or wisdom, it will cost 8 points, adventure points. And you cannot mix and match skill points and adventure points. They are one and the other.
Got it.
I think I'm just gonna hold
Save
mine.
them.
Yeah.
Same.
Cool.
I spent 4 skill points
Okay.
to get a point in hunting
But you know, I did the same thing.
Brilliant.
because I figured my dwarven hunting technique of running through the woods trying to hug things.
Just randomly swinging your axe and seeing
No,
if you
no.
hit any animal.
You can't do that because you might chop an animal in the wrong spot. It's terrible. Hunting is a precise skill. And my previous method was just run around going,
It was entertaining, but not super effective.
but so now I have a point in that.
Okay.
But I'm saving my adventure points.
Very good.
Yeah, I spent 4 points to bump up my hunting as well.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
I feel like Sausage probably, after all of this travel, is like, I gotta figure out how to get my food in a little more efficient way.
Yeah. And Kai, you said you're
I'm
saving yours.
saving mine.
Same.
Okay, so 2 saving, 2 hunting. Fantastic. All right. Why don't we have a discussion? You've all gone off and you've done your individual kind of investigation. So why don't we have a scene at a table in the tavern, probably? That seems like a place you'd probably meet and hang out. Where you're all coming back and kind of sharing what you've discovered with each other. And that will give me cover to go grab my notebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're meeting. What was it, the tavern? The bridge side?
The
Was it?
Yeah.
we're in down
Bridge
Bridge
side.
side.
The bridge
The
side.
bridge
The
side.
bridge
Yeah,
side.
and
With
and
and
Olga.
Olga and the bridge side.
yeah,
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
and the sign is like a very beautifully, intricately carved or painted image of the old bridge that burned down,
Right? Yeah.
just to like add insult to injury.
And I think that Aerlind just didn't leave. Like talked to Olga and then got a seat and
Really?
waited, figuring that everyone was going to show up eventually.
Yeah. And you do see that some of the people who are here to do the working on the
Mhm.
bridge, and they're staying at the sleazy Airbnb,
Mhm.
are sorry, that's very out of tone. I'll stop. They're staying at kind of the basically the room and board that
Mhm.
doesn't really provide the accommodations that the bridge side does. They come in and they grab food, but then they don't really even stay to eat. They usually take their stuff back, and then they'll bring back their empty bowls and stuff for Olga to clean later, which is fine. But it's definitely kind of like weird in the vibe of the tavern. And there is only one tavern in this town, so a lot of people come here.
Mhm.
And you are very familiar with this town, just for people who maybe haven't seen the prior sessions. Like, you're outsiders, but you're not really outsiders. You're like people who live here a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And they trust you and they know that you've done a lot of good for them. So even though you're not actually residents of this town, you're treated as part of the group.
And as he's waiting for everyone to show up, he spreads out all of his notes from Dunland after finally having a quiet moment, and is starting to like collate notes and like move some of the rubbings and things from the stone into his like bigger volume that he's been working on, and it's just like fully sets up a desk essentially in the tavern,
Nice.
drinking wine.
Nice. It's been a while too since you left Dunland, right?
Yeah,
Like, it was
it's
it's been like
Yeah.
14 days or something
Yeah.
like that.
But I wasn't going to do it in your family home, so
Oh,
I'm doing
sure.
it here instead.
Fair, fair. I think like You were in the woods, right? You were kind of like poking
Yeah.
around. You found a trail there. I found a trail in the job site, and I kind of envision like following it and ending up where you are. You're like coming back.
I
I'm
figured,
going forward, and
we,
you're like,
we
yeah.
get to the edge of town, and that's where we meet. Yeah.
We start exchanging notes, and we're like, okay, we should probably go and see if we can catch up with everybody else.
I mean, I'd assume that whatever was stolen, we'll be able to recover. Because what are they going to do? Take it out there and light it on fire? Then everybody would see where their secret stash was.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Or I don't think they have a train of wagons to take heavy building supplies off to
Right.
another town. That
Right.
would be strange, too.
That would be very noticeable.
But they did take steps to cover their tracks.
Oh yeah, I
Once
noticed.
they got into the woods here.
Yeah, they did the same thing at the job site, and it doesn't look like it was anything supernatural or anything like that. At least, no weird ghosts
no,
or
no.
anything like that. I suppose.
It looks like they have someone that at least vaguely knows how to travel in the woods.
Yeah.
That's,
Shall
be
we
my
go
guess.
find our? Shall we go find our companions?
yeah. Hopefully, maybe they found someone.
All right. And I think we'll head to the
Yeah,
bridge
yeah.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, Bruna.
And you were in town.
I was in town, so I'd probably go to the bridge side.
Yep.
Just get a tank of ale and sit down next to your
My
desk.
desk.
We walk in, we see all your notes, and we're like,
Wow, you followed a good lead.
Oh, these are this is research, not for and they just awkwardly start to put away all of the like many notes and things.
All
Elves
right.
can write very quickly.
My penmanship would deteriorate very quickly if I were writing that fast.
and we'll tell you like
Yeah.
kind of what evidence we'd found
Yeah,
out in the woods.
there was a trail that they obviously dragged stuff out of town, but covered their tracks. But I didn't find any path that they had brought in extra people from outside of town through the woods.
There are a lot of strangers staying in the landowner's extra house.
That's what Olga was saying.
They don't seem very friendly.
No, they've been coming in, getting their food, and then leaving.
Thaddeus Birchmere is the name of the shady landowner.
Right.
Thank you. They've hired a lot of extra help to come and build the bridge, but I'm worried that idle hands have gotten a bit restless.
Or they're being paid to be restless.
That's true. That's nefarious.
What time of day is it at this point? Is it still pretty early on in the day? Do we still have a good amount of time before nightfall, or is it getting pretty close?
Yeah, I would say it's probably by this point, probably like starting to be early evening, around supper, dinner time.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Well, hearing all this, do we want to strike out into the woods at this time, or should we maybe stake out the site and see if anything else happens?
Is there any more wood for them to take?
Oh, you know what? Was there? There were still materials
Still
left
supplies
at the
there,
site, right?
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah.
Yes, some things. I mean, it's a lot of material you need to build this bridge.
The Reeve did say that the materials were disappearing in the night. So it might not be a bad time to stake out the job site.
We can
Sure.
do that.
Okay, all right.
Catch people red-handed. Aside from they can just proclaim, we came across this stash in the woods. I don't know. We were out looking for the stolen goods too.
Right.
So
All right, yeah. So sounds like we're gonna stake out.
Yeah.
Okay.
About how long have you been in the tower?
well, I think if it's close to evening and mealtime,
Yeah,
that I would have
certainly.
ordered a large meal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're talking, I'm probably just
Yeah.
shoveling it away.
Something like an hour and a half.
Somewhere in
Maybe-ish.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been there for a couple hours.
Yeah. Hearing stories.
Yeah.
So we'll say somewhere between like an hour and a half and 2 hours.
Sure. Yeah. That sounds
Okay.
about right. Yeah.
All right. So we'll say by the time you get out of the tavern, it's now dark. It was like kind of like waning twilight when you got in there. And while you were in there, you saw, many people come and go. A lot of the locals are in there having their evening because this is what they do until they're tired and they go to bed. And they hang out and visit with each other. Songs are going on. Like I said, like a happy, bustling tavern atmosphere. There's a bit of strain. Like people are laughing a little too loud or a little quieter than usual because this is the town under stress. The people who live here are, they're here to make themselves feel better because they have worries. So sometimes that is a little bit too enthusiastic and sometimes not able to enjoy themselves, and there's kind of variables in between. So having been visiting this place for some time, you would know the difference, and you'd feel the strain and the just kind of tension underneath everything. Plus, on top of that, there are these kind of strangers who are coming in and out, and they don't really, the interesting thing is they don't really seem to be trying to engage. Even most of the time, like they're not even sitting off by themselves at a table. Like they're literally just not in the tavern at all. They keep going back to where they're staying. And then for a town like this, that is almost like it is almost insulting. That level of I'm not participating in this. Like even to not just have a table to yourselves at in the corner is turning up your nose in like a very strange way.
As we sit there, I don't think I did this last time, but would I, with my wary feature, always listening for, usually for academic purposes, but in this case also listening for leads, do I pick up any indications to where these people are from?
It sounds like you would know, like there's lots of kind of like different kind of accents and different kind of slants on language. Most of them are semi-local. You can tell there's none of them from like super far away. Most of them, some of them you can tell are like from Bree or around that area. Some of them are from other towns that are a little bit south of there, but there's none that are like, whoa, that's different. That's from.
We didn't cross the mountains.
Yeah, nobody's crossed the mountains. They're all pretty much local, so nothing that's strange for Eriador.
But far for some of them to just travel for work.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, that's where they're from originally.
Yeah.
You don't know where they've been living or if they've traveled that far for work. But from their point of origin where they learn to speak, none of them are like oh, I can't believe you've traveled this distance in your lifetime, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
An Easterling here.
yes, exactly. Nothing that would like immediately set off alarm bells.
Got it.
And they're all men.
Yeah.
Not gender, but
Yeah, they're all humans.
humans.
Yes. So none of them are dwarves or elves, but that's also very common, especially for a town like this. Like to afford dwarven craftsmanship to build your bridge, or elven craftsmanship, like that's wow. And then.
But I didn't know. Maybe
no, for sure.
Like we're not far from the Shire. Like
we're not far from a lot of places.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm also saying that for people who might be listening or watching that don't necessarily know everything about Middle Earth.
Sure.
So you're like, well, dwarves build things. Yes. If you are very, very wealthy and influential, dwarves might come build your thing if you're a human. Maybe.
Right, yeah, might.
Maybe. Like, become a king of Gundor, maybe. You can have that. So yeah. So they're all humans. None of them seem to be from any extremely strange locations.
I just thought of a character I want to make for games sometime.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Well, like in the time period we're playing, right? I want to be like
The fantasy?
No, the Hobbit tomato farmer that is very wealthy because he ships all of his prized tomatoes off to Gondor.
All right.
That's so expensive.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Let's go around real quick, and if you will share with me, your what did I call them?
The distinctive features.
Yeah, distinctive features and traits, please.
Traits.
So, Hannar, can I start with you?
Sure. Traits being.
There should be a thing I think on your character sheet.
There's nothing that says traits, but is this the calling
Yeah,
one
I
as
think,
well
yeah,
as
yeah.
the ones that come from our races?
Mhm.
Ah. So like the blessing and the.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay. So we'll start with features.
Mhm.
Cunning, proud, and burglary.
Okay.
Because
2 adjectives and then burglary.
you can be both cunning and proud
Mhm.
about burglary.
Yeah.
Calling is treasure hunter, as we've mentioned before.
Yeah.
Um,
And trader, I have that for written down already.
right. Yeah, that's kind of what his
Yeah.
business is. Blessing, I went with redoubtable
Okay.
for lowering the load weight of armor and helmets.
Okay. Let's just go with the features. I think that's what I
Okay.
meant. I think I wrote traits so
Oh,
I
very
knew
good.
what they were.
Oh, well, and if you need to also know that the shadow that I have is dragon sickness.
Oh, okay.
So shinies are shiny,
Yes.
and I want more of them.
Very good. Nice. Okay.
Sausage's features are fair-spoken, keen-eyed, and folklore.
Oh, okay.
And my shadow is wandering madness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Soft spoken. What was the other one? I'm writing them down.
Fair-spoken, keen-eyed, and folklore.
All right. This is the super interesting part where I am writing things down. And then your shadow is madness.
Wandering madness, yeah.
All right.
High action of tabletop.
Yes. You knew what you were in for when you
Yeah.
when you tuned into this at this moment. All right. Aerlind to Mithlond.
Keen-eyed, wary, and then leadership.
Yep. And then your shadow.
The lure of power.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's unexpected. I love that. Okay.
Spiciness in there.
Yeah. All right, Runa.
Generous,
Mhm.
fierce, and burglary. Team burglary.
That's why I wanted to be very clear about what the rules are for getting shadow points
Yeah.
for stealing things.
Yeah. If you're stealing things from long dead people, it's probably
Or
fine.
bad guys.
Or bad
Or
guy.
Or bad guy.
Mhm, mhm.
Already
Yes.
stolen, probably.
Yeah.
And my shadow is also dragon sickness.
Okay.
I think the shadow is tied to your
Yeah,
bless,
it is.
your calling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And then you also have the ones from your lineage.
Yes. All right. Thank you. All right. So yeah, you are now headed out. In the, it's not like totally dark.
Mhm.
They've got like, they don't have like lamps, obviously, but they've got like torches and like
Yeah. The occasional like lantern outside
Yeah,
the door.
along the exactly, kind of outside the different things, enough to like cast basic light
Mhm.
on the streets. Again, it's not a super big little town. It's not a super big town. It's a little town. But as you start to head,
Sound like Reno.
no, no flashing lights or anything. But so as you're walking through the evening, it's like a very like calm, like very normal thing. You hear a lot of like insects. It is it is pretty far north, so it is a little bit colder. Not so like freezing, but like you're probably seeing your breath a little bit. And as you're walking by, you can hear the tavern behind you with like the singing and arguing and just all the fun that's being had there. You walk by some of the houses, you can kind of see lights on. You can hear, some kids like playing, not wanting to go to bed, things like that in some of the houses. Some of the houses are empty. You do pass by the larger house that's being used to house all the workers from this project. And you can see that some of the windows are lit, some of them are dark. Maybe they've gone to bed already, maybe they're out and about somewhere. It's hard to tell. Nothing strange, no weird sounds. Some basic stuff. Someone's playing what sounds like some sort of stringed instrument. It sounds like a guitar. Could maybe be like mandola or bouzouki or something like that in there. So someone's using their evening to practice. And as you kind of get closer to where the bridge work area is, it's a little bit darker because it's on the edge. There's not really any houses right next to where the bridge is. There's a little bit of light still. So it's not totally pitch dark, but past, you can kind of see like the beginning of the new bridge, and like then it kind of goes into darkness past that. So you have the glow of the town a little bit, but it only goes so far. And then you can kind of see where the banks drop off into the river/creek, and it kind of is dark beyond a certain point there. And then it's probably about a third of the way onto what would be the bridge if it was completely finished. You can see some of the scaffolding, and you can see the progress that they've made on it. And then it is kind of darkness past that third. And it goes about around, there's kind of what would have been, because the bridge that was there before was very established. There's like a lot of dirt and like different roads kind of like converging, not like full roads, but like lanes basically. So there's like one or two coming out of town, and then there's ones kind of from the outside of the town. Like there's kind of like a walkway around. So there's kind of like these 4 pathways that are all converging right at what would be the opening in the mouth to the bridge. So that's there, and you can see it's very packed down for the most part. It's been years and years of travel on these things, so there's places where there's like rut marks that are pretty much going to be permanent, and this town could leave and those rut marks would be there for quite some time because so many wagons went over this in a myriad of conditions, and it kind of like packed down the earth there. Off to kind of the left, as you're facing the bridge, is where a lot of the materials were stacked. And yeah, that's what you're seeing right now.
Okay.
As we walk through town, just leaving the music of the tavern behind and then having that person just playing delicately, Aerlind just starts to hum, kind of looking for the tune that maybe the musician was not quite at, but just starts to hum.
Yeah. And then, yeah, whoever's playing was very kind of hesitant. They're very much learning and new to it. So it's kind of got that dun, 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 like
Chopsticks.
Yeah. The equivalent, having played the mandolin, like very like okay, close, like that sort of thing as they're playing.
And then like a good run of like 3 or 4 chords in a row.
Bars,
Where,
yeah.
Like those are the ones they really have down.
Yeah. Usually the beginning of the song, because that's when you end up playing the most.
Right.
So those are parts that sounds good, and as they get a little bit farther in the song, it's a little more iffy. But they're giving it a go. And they're probably playing the same song a couple times. And yeah.
This town has problems with the bridge.
Oh man.
I'm here for the music jokes.
My!
That was rough.
The bridge.
That was yeah. A chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like we've been like eyed or followed.
Oh, I was giving you an air high five.
Oh,
That was good.
sorry.
Well earned. So it doesn't look like we've been followed or nobody spotted us or nobody's kind of like watching us as we
There's people moving about, but
Okay.
nobody seems like,
to pay attention or anything like that.
yeah, there's
Okay.
nobody who seems like they're like about to jump you or anything like that. I mean, that you know of. I mean, you can roll I think it's
Scan?
Yeah, scan.
Scan? Sure.
I'll do it. I have a favored skill in scan.
Okay. All right. I will.
I mean, you're also like not in combat. You can do as many actions as you want right now. Like it's not like if you roll scan, you can't do anything else.
Sure. I got you.
I love this game. Like, here, have a handful of dice.
Yes.
Wait, that was too many. Okay.
Still not as bad
Oh,
as
wait.
like vampire.
Oh god, I just played that. Yeah.
There's 20 die. Please roll 20 d10s.
Okay, so I got 20.
Okay,
Wow.
so you're comparing it to your target number, which is the
4.
number above
Oh,
that
yeah.
skill list.
My target number is 14, so
You made it. Good
crushed
job.
it. Scanned the hell out of it.
And
Yeah.
don't forget you're looking on on your feat die, which is your d12. If you have the Gandalf rune, that's good. If you have the Sauron rune, that's bad. But it's not a fail. It's just a 0 to your count, to your total. And then if you have 6s on your d6s, that is special, and you get like an extra success. So yeah, no, you have a great success. You don't have any 6s, right?
No.
Okay.
2 5s almost.
2 5s.
Close.
Yeah, sorry, we don't round up. So you don't know. There's nobody like ready to ambush you. You do kind of feel like there's some eyes on you, but it's not. You're not getting the feeling because you very succeeded. You're not
Okay.
getting the feeling like someone's waiting to jump you. More like people are just keeping an eye on what you're doing.
Okay.
So you're not in danger at this moment, but you are not going unnoticed through this town.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
my beautiful elven cloak while humming in the middle of the street is not subtle.
No.
Like,
But generally, that wouldn't cause like a huge
No.
interest here because they're used to you. At first, yes, but now it's been probably a few years that you've been coming here.
I'm just not hiding it.
Yeah.
I'm just. We're not being stealthy. We're just walking.
Yes.
Well, I actually think that I'd like to be stealthy.
Okay.
And peel off from the group. Like, let them maintain attention and see if I can find a shadowy corner or next to a bush or a tree.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Something
We-
just
we
to,
want to actually peel off. Yeah. We should.
yeah, just to kind of find a spot where I can kind of keep an eye on the material yard
Mm-hmm.
and, just see what's going on.
Do we want to stay seen?
I'm probably going to conceal myself by a tree or a rock or something.
All right.
I could be a distraction.
I can be quite quiet, or I can be very loud.
Well, I think if we keep people obviously watching the place, they probably just won't make a move tonight.
All right. Then we should be quiet.
Agreed.
Now,
Unless you want to make a show of loudly leaving.
Mm-hmm.
did you come over here earlier, Runa?
No. Well,
You
I-
went and looked at the house.
I went and looked at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not the
I
not the
scoped the
bridge.
site out.
Okay.
Did
You didn't roll scan, did you?
you know what? I rolled something because I
Just
did
now?
find. Well, no, not now, but like
No, you rolled it
earlier. Then.
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
earlier.
you
Then,
saw
yeah.
stuff earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just
yeah.
saying you didn't roll scan now.
No, I did not roll scan.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Should I roll scan now?
It's up to you.
I'm not likely going to succeed unless I burn a hope point. You know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. This is a game about rolling dice, and so we're gonna roll some dice. I'm gonna burn a hope point.
Okay.
I am gonna roll scan, so that's 1 feat die plus 1 success die for my
That's
hope.
against your wits, yeah.
Oh no! Well, that's the Eye of Sauron
Oh,
and a
No,
3.
no.
No. It's dark. You can't see. very
yeah,
much at all.
yeah. I
You
get
can't
this
see, but
really,
you can be seen.
I get this really unsettling feeling
Oh.
in my jellies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you get like a weird feeling that you are not able, because maybe it's because it's dark now. Maybe you had a little bit too much like to
Sure,
drink at
yeah.
dinner. Like who knows? Olga's ale is not refined but pretty strong.
But potent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't really notice anything. You were here
Okay.
earlier too, Hannar. You started.
No, I kind of started at the edge of town.
You started at the edge. Oh, you didn't start here.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
But I think I will attempt to make a stealthy step away.
Okay.
I think I will do that as well.
Okay. I'm gonna. Actually, oh, okay.
So Gandalf and a 2 puts me.
That's an automatic
Well,
success.
yeah.
If
Well-
you, yeah,
I would have succeeded anyway.
Okay.
But yeah.
a 2.
No, well, I mean, like the Gandalf rune,
Yes.
it would be a 12.
12.
or-
Okay, yeah. With a 12 and a 2, 14.
Yeah.
Got it.
But so I think I probably maybe I peel away and just tuck myself up near the edge of a building right at the edge of town.
And by
Huh.
this point, it's not like a well lit area. I was actually, before you rolled, I was gonna be like, I'm gonna give you an extra die because the light is very like flickering and like not super bright here. So if you'd like to take an extra die, you
Sure.
succeeded anyway. So,
Okay.
so yeah, you were very easily able to kind of, especially with Runa and Sausage kind of in the
Oh.
middle of like the light, you are very easily able to kind of like walk off and kind of like find a dark area and kind of moving around, still able to kind of trace the places that are just out of the light.
I very succeeded. I not only got a Gandalf rune, but I also got a 6.
Great success.
Amazing.
Ooh.
Yeah, the same thing. You are able to kind of peel off, and I don't know if you're going the same direction or if you're going opposite.
Opposite
Okay.
directions. We
Opposite
have the conversation if
directions.
we're gonna be sneaky, and we're both just like, bye.
Yeah. So basically, you've got Sausage and Runa who are facing the bridge, and both of you peel off, one to the left, one to the right, finding that the edge of the light, basically. So you're able to stay out of the lights and very quietly walk around. You don't have to be super quiet out here. But you are also able, because you've done such a great job, to, if you wanted to go closer to where some people are, you know that like you were capable of getting closer to, if you were going to go up to a porch or something like that, you could probably do that without being seen as well, if that's your next kind of choice.
So we're kind of still like in the light, you and me, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna whisper to you. I think I'm gonna see if I can make my way onto a rooftop. Quietly, quite like. But I'm gonna pretend that everything's good here, so that I can kind of walk back into town and circle around. Maybe have some people
Yeah.
hear us say that we're leaving and stuff.
Yeah, I loudly say we should turn in for the night.
Yeah.
I know how fond of you are of heights, so I think that's a good idea.
It takes my breath away every time I'm more than 5 feet off the ground. Anyway,
She's like, "You want me to pick you up?"
let's start our ruse, I think.
idea.
It's getting late, and everything looks quiet out here, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's a nice night. Nice night to get a good night's rest.
Ugh.
It seems so quiet out here. I can't wait to get into my bed and just pass out.
Yeah, after all that traveling, my feet are just dying.
My whole skeleton is just ready
Okay, all
for
right.
the night.
I'm gonna head on over to where I usually sleep in town and settle in.
I think I will do that as well.
Okay. So like I said, I'm gonna like peel away from the light, and like as soon as I get into the dark, I'm gonna try to shuffle around to a one of the nearby buildings and see if I can like find a rooftop that overlooks the site. Yeah. Should I make a stealth roll or something else for that?
To climb onto a roof?
Yeah.
Are
What
you-
would that be? Athletics.
Well, are you just looking to get onto the roof, or are you trying to do so without being seen?
I am trying to be quiet about it, quiet and unnoticed about it.
Okay.
If that is possible.
Okay, well, I'm going to first have you roll athletics
Okay.
to see if you can do it,
Okay.
and then I'm going to have you roll to see if you can do it quietly.
Quietly. Okay. All right. All right. So I've got my feat die. I've got 2 success dice for athletics, and my target number is 15. That's a 10, unfortunately.
Oh,
Okay. Well, if you wanted to be a distraction, well done.
Okay.
No one is even probably looking for the dwarf and the elf as the hobbit tries to climb up. We'll say that there's maybe some building materials that are kind of like leaning against
Oh, sure.
something, and maybe you tried to scurry up that.
Yeah.
And as you were doing this, it wasn't as steady as you thought it was, and so it kind of, and so you don't get hurt. You tumble to the ground and roll hobbit style.
Okay.
But a bunch of these planks all clank to the ground super loud and like toss up a bunch of dust. And you do see like and you do hear people go, what was that? Is everything, and, like a few people are popping their heads out of their houses. You see a couple candles get lit in windows that were dark.
Oh.
As-
kind of. I just yell. I'm so drunk after drinking so much from the bridge side. Whew.
Yeah, there's a couple
Um,
like heckling calls and people like,
Fair.
sausage! I just got my toddler to sleep and now he's awake again.
Okay, I will.
That is not from personal experience.
No.
Yeah, I'll try to find another spot to keep an eye out on things.
Okay.
Runa, how are you doing?
Ooh, well, that seems like a good distraction for me to
Yeah, you
find,
can pretty much do almost whatever.
find a nice hiding spot.
Yeah, if
to-
you're gonna roll stealth, I'm gonna give you one extra die for the low light if you move out of the light.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you an extra die for all the
Woo!
noise that sausage made, as long as
Yeah.
you're moving simultaneously to his like kerfuffle.
Yeah, I think as soon as she hears the like commotion start, she's like, "This is the time."
My moment has come.
Yeah. I have to go.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay. I got one 6,
Mhm.
and I got 11, 21.
Wow.
Blackjack.
All right, girl.
I'm gonna guess that hits your TN or passes
It
it.
sure does.
Okay. All right, and you got 1-6.
Yeah, I got 1 6.
Okay, so tell me what you're doing.
I think what she's doing, she's assumed that these two are going to stake out the building site itself. And I think what she's gonna do is kind of stake out like between the town and the building site.
Okay.
So kind of like hide there to observe the people she feels like were observing us before
Oh, okay.
and see if they come in to try and do anything or look for us.
Okay, so now, kind of what's happened now is anyone watching now sees sausage like, oh, like maybe are you trying to restack anything? Or are you just like, oh,
You know what?
sorry
Yeah,
about
I'm gonna try to like clumsily, very, I'm trying to be a Frodo. I'm ending up a Pippin.
that?
Restack all that stuff
Yeah,
somewhat neatly.
no problem. And I figure like you caused a distraction, you might as well lean into it and keep being a distraction. You're probably
Yeah.
You've seen your friends kind of melt into the darkness, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep helping this way.
I see my role.
Yes.
I see my part to play in this scene.
Yes.
Yes.
And so yeah, there's all this kerfuffle happening. Knowing sausage as well as you do, you realize he's playing it up a bit. But most people wouldn't, especially it being dark and him drunk. Playing drunk at least.
Yeah.
So you peel off after your friends have already disappeared. So the two of you have kind of gone around the edge of the light and are headed towards the bridge and the materials. Is that correct? The dwarf and the elf?
Well, I figured I'd stay near a building
Okay.
and watch the area where they are,
Okay.
just to because then I'll see if anybody's coming out of there. Or,
Okay.
Or coming from town or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that I'm going to skirt around and go towards where the bridge was before, and the new construction is near the water.
So facing the bridge, we're going to say that Hannar was off to the left. So you kind of disappeared into the darkness there. We're going to say sausage. Oh,
I'd just like to point out, I think that I have a reversible cloak.
okay.
Like my trader cloak, it's got I talked about many colored ribbons
Yeah.
and things, but then I flip it over and it's just black.
Nice. I like that.
I just draw my very beautifully elven made cloak around me, and like the night just kind of seeps into the threads a little bit. And while it's still the same color, it's just like a bit of water or moonlight kind of traveling in the
Oh, yeah, I
darkness.
dig that.
That's cool.
Awesome. And we're going to say sausage was kind of off to the left too.
Okay.
So maybe you walk probably very neatly past the things that he tried to climb, causing no noise, and then he's knocked it all to hell. But you're still hidden past that. You've gone past that now. Aerlind, you were off kind of to the right, so you've now skirted kind of around the edge and gone past that. So you're actually in front of, if I was facing the bridge as a onlooker, you'd be over near the bridge now. And Runa, you have just kind of disappeared off to the right as well. So you are now just kind of painting our picture. Sausage is a little bit off to the left. There's kind of like this open light point. Sausage is still kind of in the middle of it with all these planks. Runa is off to the right, kind of parallel. Hannar's off to the left, sort of parallel in the shadows next to the buildings. And then you are kind of like directly in front, Aerlind. And you are near the bridge. You can, and in the darkness, you're close enough, and with your elven eyes, especially after you let your eyes adjust a little bit, you probably can see at least halfway across the bridge, or this kind of the scaffolding, which will eventually be the bridge and kind of the bones of what are going to be the new bridge. The new bridge, the old one was like stone. The new one is being made out of wood right now. So it's a little bit of a step down, but it is what it is.
A little bit of a downgrade. Okay.
Yeah,
But at least it'll be a bridge again.
Yeah.
exactly.
More flammable though.
What are you gonna do?
Not my bridge.
Next one's gonna be built out of straw.
Like an RPG. Whatever. Nothing's burned in RPGs.
Ever.
Ever.
The
Okay.
townspeople install like a big water pump at the bottom of the bridge. Sprinklers all across the top.
So that's kind of our setup right now.
Okay.
So are you going across the bridge? Are you all just kind of watching?
I think we're just watching it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
all okay, got it. I'm gonna have you roll Aerlind, I'm gonna have you roll scan, please.
Oh boy.
We have the eyes, right?
Keen-eyed.
Keen-eyed.
That is that just misses.
Yep. This-
But
okay.
I can burn a hope die to just succeed.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
Okay. Generally, you have to announce the hope before you roll,
I think
but I'll let you do.
this is not a hope roll.
Oh,
this
got it.
is an
Your elven
elven
skill,
skill.
right?
Oh, that's right. I apologize.
Yeah, this is-
I keep forgetting. You say that every time, and I say that every time, and then you say it again every time.
It's okay.
It's a little dance we do.
It's our little thing. No, so yeah, I'm going to look into the dark, and then like a bug flies in the side of my head. I'm like, no, okay, come on, focus.
Yeah.
And then really look.
Okay. So you can see. Were you here earlier today? Did you come to this?
No, I've only
Okay.
been in town.
You can see in the dark, like across the bridge. There. You think you might have seen something across. It's hard because it's really dark on the other side of the bridge. But there's some movement over there. And you can also see, like, there's some pretty fresh drag marks from the pile of materials going off kind of north into the forest. And they look pretty fresh. So maybe while you were at dinner, maybe something like that. And since you succeeded, you hear movements. It's because you're an elf. No one else could have heard this. But you just a little bit, you feel like maybe it's a bear or something. But to the north, there's definitely something big moving, and it's quite a ways away now. It's
Okay.
not quite a mile, but it's pretty far.
Kind of sit and really take it all in, and then kind of look around, and I'm sure I can only see Burl.
Yeah. Yeah, like you probably, because you've all been working together for so long, you probably have an idea. Like, you know, okay, Runa's not there, but she definitely did not go back to her room. So
No.
they're both somewhere
They're
nearby.
Then I'm going to just let out like a night bird call in an attempt to get their attention.
Mhm.
And if anyone takes a look, I'm just going to like indicate the drag marks, not talking, but just like pointing at the wood pile and then the drag marks,
Okay.
just to get everyone on the same page, because I know they were, like, you were actually here, Hannar, so I want you guys to take a look at it, because I'm like, I don't know, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
When you make that noise, I'll use that as an excuse to leave the pile that I'm fixing, and I pick up my spear. You know, kind of like
Bird hunting.
Yeah, bird hunting. Yeah, exactly. That's a big bird. We gotta get rid of these things. And I make my way towards your noise. First of all, do I see? Like, are you going to sort of be somewhat visible if I come looking for you?
Yeah, I think at this point the vibe is kind of the jig is up on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, okay.
So
And if I see your hand gestures, I will head over to those tracks and I'll kind of like slowly advance towards them.
I think that the big indication is actually to the wood pile, though. Like,
Oh, sure. Okay.
is this more or less? Look,
No, that's a good question. Do I remember
Yeah, when
how?
you look at it and you like are really paying attention, and I don't make you roll scan, you can, you definitely notice that there's less there than when you were here earlier.
Okay. All right.
And there are very clear drag marks now that were not there before.
Okay. I'll kind of, you see me, like, body language wise, kind of like tunk my spear down and just put my hand in my head.
Runa's like waving at you guys and holding up her sword. Like, is it time?
Yeah, I know. Do we want to charge into the woods to see if we can track these things down before they,
we
like,
want-
conceal their tracks again?
is it time? Are we going?
I think I'm like cozied up.
Yeah.
And wasn't really paying attention. I heard a night bird. I'm like,
oh, pretty
how
bird.
pretty. I've always loved loons. But then, like, when I see Sausage stop fixing the pile and move over, then I'll probably stand up and be like,
Yeah.
ready to go. So,
I think we should go for it.
I think yes.
I think I send out like a little like bird call of my own to kind of like signal y'all to converge.
So many birds in this
I
town.
know.
I know.
Yeah, I think as we're having this like bird call
Yeah, yeah.
exchange, Aerlind finally removes their bow from their back, and it's time.
Yeah. Mine is not nearly as graceful a bird call as yours, by the way. Mine's practically a caw.
the classic, hey, you!
You
too! Look up here, look up here!
No, but,
I'm gonna exit a little bit because it's a little out of
Yeah,
tone.
yeah.
I want to make sure we're doing it in tone.
Uh-huh.
But I do like the idea of like this graceful, like almost identical to a night bird,
Yeah.
like call from Aerlind, and then this like a little bit odd chirping noise that's like kind of a bird coming from the Hobbit. I appreciate kind of the dynamic there with that.
Well, I think I'd reach under the cloak and pull out my axe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
At this point, I think I'm gonna hurry over to join everybody and see if we can go north.
Yeah.
Get some wood back.
Let's go fight that wood-stealing bear.
Do you mention what you heard?
Yes, I think once everyone gathers up and we've kind of gotten over the ruse of staying hidden,
Yeah.
there was a dragging sound or something. There's a disturbance to the north.
Sounds about right.
That's where they went before. So
Right.
Shall we follow?
Quickly then.
All right. Yeah, and I think we start marching into the woods, north into the woods.
And when you look, Hannar, you see this is probably what's been happening for a while. Like you'd found kind of the drag marks that they've been hidden. They probably saw you coming tonight. So they were probably in the middle of stealing stuff. And then they didn't have time to kind of wipe away or hide
Gotcha.
the marks like they did previously. So yeah.
that should make it easier to follow.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. We don't have to do the journey mechanic for this piece.
Right.
Like we're going up. There is a thing marked on the map, but so you travel up and as you're going, let's go ahead and roll. Are you trying to be stealthy? Are you trying to sneak up on them? Are you just going as quickly as you can through the forest?
Well, they do have a head start on us.
I'd probably try and move at a good speed.
Yeah, I think at this point, any stealth is kind of not worth the.
Yeah.
Cost.
We got to catch up to
We
these
got to see
folks.
them doing. The
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
We want to catch them.
All right. I am going to have one of you at least roll hunting, so you can kind of continue to follow the path that they've left, to follow tracks to try to kind of pursue them. And then some of you should probably, if you want to, roll awareness if you're trying to like stay aware of your situation.
I would love that.
So I have a rank in hunting, and I have 1 pip in hunting, 2 pips in awareness. How's
I have
everybody's
2 in hunting.
Okay, I'll do awareness then.
I'd say I could roll awareness.
Okay.
Also, multiple. Like this isn't
Yeah.
an official journey, so you can all roll different things and share what you learn with each other.
Wonderful.
Oh.
This isn't like
Well,
a.
then I'll try and hunt.
Oh, okay. Well, my dice is really kind to me today.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know that is going to make it. Oh, it will. I know math.
Ooh, exceptional success.
Yes.
Nice.
Very
We're
nice.
doing good today.
I got a for awareness. I got Gandalf. And doing the math, it comes out to a 19.
So it's a success.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
And I succeeded with 2 6s.
Nice.
Absolutely not.
No.
I'm a dwarf running through the forest at night with an axe out.
Anything could happen.
Yeah. You're lucky you don't run into a tree. It's
Yeah.
fine. Okay.
Success.
Okay. Fantastic.
Ooh, all right.
So Runa is able to kind of track their path through the forest. It does get a little bit harder to track as you get farther away.
Okay.
So it seemed like they drug the things away, saw you coming, so then they started kind of covering their tracks as best they could. As they saw you approaching the bridge, you scored your awareness. You can tell they're ahead of you. They don't seem to be in any major hurry now, so they may not be aware that you're pursuing them. It sounds like there's definitely more than 2, less than 5.
I convey that to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry. How far ahead are they again? Like.
You're not 100% sure, but they're not like within striking distance now.
Okay.
So, like, if you can shoot, 80 yards with your bow or whatever
Sure.
it is, like they're not in striking distance. They're probably a good half mile ahead of you. So possible to catch up, but like being stealthy right now is not going to make a huge difference.
Great.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna continue to just like follow the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll do that.
Yeah, as you're going through the forest here, probably, Aerlind, you probably noticed the most because you were very familiar with forests and trees and people who cut down trees before making things.
Yes.
All of those things have to do with shipbuilding.
Yes.
You can tell that this is like a pathway that is used a lot. So it is like people have covered it up and tried to hide it, but you can tell that there are no plants growing, and it's almost like a little like pathway that even though there's a bunch of leaves and things strewn about to hide it, there's no like growth there. So all the little sprouts that normally would be on the forest floor, things like that. As Hannar just noticed the last time, there's like leaves from trees that are like 10 feet that way over here in like a weird way that like wouldn't normally happen. Even if there's winds, like that's a little odd.
This is weird. Yeah.
So they're just picking stuff up and putting it there. But it is well done. So most people who weren't trained in noticing these things, same thing probably Runa, from tracking things, most people wouldn't notice these things. So whoever's doing this has some training in hiding where they've been and trying to avoid being tracked.
But clearly not in logging because it's just a drag trail.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, as you're kind of like slowly you're able to tell that you're getting closer and closer to them. And then you can hear off to, as you're going north, you can hear off to kind of the right, the river and or creek. It's kind of getting closer and louder. So basically what's happened is as you're going north, the river kind of goes like this. So you're going north and you're going to kind of intersect with a branch of the river that kind of goes northeast.
Okay. So it sounds like they're gonna have to stop sometime.
Northwest, sorry.
Or
Yeah.
at least like, I don't know, ferry the material,
Yeah. or
whatever we
something.
might find there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. If nobody has any objections, I'll kind of take the front. I'm gonna start dashing.
Absolutely.
Like,
You can
up
leave it
ahead.
a little open.
the one with the shortest legs. I'm gonna start dashing up ahead.
And
just
actually,
kind of
I
like,
think that seeing you take the point at the middle, I'm going to try and create a prong and kind of like split to the side.
oh sure, okay.
partly because I am most comfortable at range in the first place. So
Sure.
I think that this is Aerlind's usual thing of like, okay, we're going, it's time, and they just go.
Yeah. You sort of hug the tree line, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's cool. Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna start hustling over.
You're probably you probably caught up enough to them. At this point, they might be aware of you, unless you guys want to try and roll stuff.
I'm pretty good at that.
I think Aerlind would start moving quietly.
Yeah,
Once,
yeah.
once he forks off.
Okay. So why don't you all roll me stealth? I don't know if that facial reaction means you did great
this
or
was
terribly.
very, very good. It's
Okay.
my second Gandalf rune of the night.
dang. Oh yeah, I succeed.
Okay.
Boom. Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
I did not succeed.
Oh no!
We know who our distraction is.
So you all like click into like pursuits, and then you all like settle down to maybe ambush what you see in front of you. You do see there's one of them carrying a torch. You can see different figures. It looks like there's maybe 3 of them up in front of you, and the 3 of you do a really great job of like settling into kind of moving stealthily through the forest, moving quietly, kind of rolling your steps so like you don't step on super loud things. Runa, what happens that gives away your position to the enemy?
Let's see. I feel like I'm gonna take a page out of my real life book, and I feel like her depth perception is suffering a little bit in the dark, and she's gonna hip check a stump that she thought was a couple inches over.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh my god. I do it all the time. in
All
my-
Yeah.
constantly.
Okay. So that like does it clank on your armor or what happens?
Yeah, I feel like her mail shirt probably covers that bit, and then she's got, her sword belt. So it's like a bunch of stuff just like clattering together.
And a very clear metallic sound that does not happen in the night in the forest.
Not a bird call.
Yeah, not a
Yeah.
bird call, not like a branch falling. Definitely, you're being pursued by someone who's armed. Congratulations. And you immediately, like all 3 of them freeze and go quiet and turn around and look. And they definitely see like a glint of your armor and your chainmail in their torchlights. And they kind of like run off. They start shouting, "Hey, they're following us! They're after us!" And they start. You know what? They're not gonna run. You hear clank, the planks clatter as they're dropped to the ground, and then you hear the of like weapons being dropped.
Ooh.
And we're about to do the first combat.
Oh goodness.
So, I'd like for you please to go ahead and log in to the link that was posted in the Slack for combat.
Have it.
Now, this system does not use a combat map, but we do use different stances or positions. And so the combat stances are forward, open, defensive, or rearward. So rearward is the only one that has to do with actually where you are positioned. The other ones, I don't know why they call them forward, open, defensive, but it's more like offensive, neutral, and defensive fighting. So you're basically all in the same place. So if you choose a forward position, you get a plus 1d to your attack, but so do the bad guys who are fighting you because you were fighting like very aggressively, and so you are probably going to do more damage, but you are leaving yourself more open, so they are more likely to find an opening to hit you. The open, which is kind of like the neutral position, you don't have any advantages, but you also don't give your enemies any advantages. And then defensive means you are fighting kind of closed and more carefully. So you would lose 1 D on your attack roll, but also your enemies also lose 1 D on their attack rolls to you because it's less likely to be hurt. If you look at those cool little cards that were dealt, it has that in front of you. The same ones that are for the journey, but just flip them over.
Yeah.
And it has that information right there. Rearward is only if you're only allowed to take that position if you are using a ranged weapon. So if you have a bow, you can take that position, and only if there are two people in your party who are fighting them to kind of hold them at bay.
Yeah, because otherwise they're gonna run.
Yeah, otherwise they're just gonna run and at you. So if two of you are there, two of you can choose rearward positions, or what it. So yeah, on the chart here, you can see. We have our names, and you can move yourself to whichever position or stance, rather, that you prefer. So we're going to do that each at the top of each round. You can change your stance, and we go in order of stance. So the people who are forward go first, open, defensive, rearward, and then the foes go last. And they always go at the same place.
Okay.
Just as a pro tip for moving your thing around, after you move it, make sure you unselect it, because that'll publish the results, so it'll go.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, cool. Yeah. I don't have to move anything because the foes are all in the same place.
Wait, how do I select me?
You should
Hit
just
the
be able to
pen in the
click you.
corner.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Then pick the arrow selector.
go. Aha.
There you go. All right. So the way this works, we all kind of announce our stance, except me, because my people go at the same time always. Then we will do engagement in order. So you will basically roll your combat stat, and we will resolve the action. Since there are fewer foes than party combatants, you get to kind of choose which one. So we'll have foe number 1, foe number 2, and foe number 3. I think where I look at the screen and I'm like, I know foe is spelled right, but it doesn't look like it's right on the screen. Like the panic of like, did I just spell that wrong? I did not. I just spelled it correctly. All right, so it looks like we have 3 of you, Runa, Hannar, and Burl, are all in forward stance, and then Aerlind is staying in rearward. It's a good choice.
I have a bow. I shoot bow good.
Yeah.
All right. So on your little cheat sheets that I gave you, it has page 2 is the combat. So, where I wrote in my beautiful handwriting, fight starts, that's where we are. You could probably have an opening volley if you'd like, Aerlind, since you're kind of holding back. So I'm going to give you one opportunity for that.
Yeah.
But if the rest of you are kind of charging into forward stance, you're not going to have an opportunity for an opening volley. So you're going to choose your stance. We're going to do your engagement, and then we're going to do the action resolution. So in each action resolution, you can take one main action. There's some suggestions there. If you have a big idea for something else, please let me know. And then you can have one secondary action. So main actions are like make an attack, do a combat task, recover a position after a knockback, things like that. And then secondary actions are like you draw your weapon or things like that. We're going to just assume you all drew your weapon before going into combat. I'm not going to make you spend that. But like if you lost one weapon and you're going to draw another one, that's a secondary action. Also remember, as you lose endurance, if you pull off pieces of gear, you can gain back endurance by losing that weight. So a secondary action would be dropping a piece of gear. So if you like dramatically rip off your helm and to gain back that endurance, that would be a secondary action. And yeah. Any questions before we jump in?
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
the rest of it I'll learn better by doing.
Yep.
Yes, it flows. It flows better than it looks like it would on paper.
I'm sure.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with our friends in the forward stance position.
Do I get my ambush?
Oh yeah,
spot?
sorry. Yes, your opening volley.
I would like to, as everyone's getting in position, I hear them start to run. Aerlind, who's already, had his bow drawn and ready to go,
Are you aiming for 1, 2, or 3?
whichever one is holding the torch.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Good
Nice.
plan. I'm gonna say that's 1.
Great. Our torch buddy. So then,
Actually, no, it's number 3.
great.
Number 3.
Oh,
We're gonna
man.
shoot at number 3. We're gonna find...
Incoming forest fire.
We're
I'm super delightful.
by the river at least. So.
Yeah,
Goodness gracious. Okay.
Weren't we just talking about how things never burn in RPG?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I roll my skills like normal.
Yep.
And then with the d12, just for clarification.
Or
You roll your weapon
Yeah,
proficiency.
my weapon proficiency.
Yeah.
And
is
the
it something
d12.
that you're favored in?
You can't
Okay, yeah.
be favored in.
So you always roll your d12. I'm sorry,
Yes.
maybe I'm not
No,
understanding.
I'm just making sure that I have the right dice.
Oh,
in
yeah,
hand.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you always roll the feat die for everything you do.
Okay. That is only a 12 from me.
A failure.
Yeah.
Okay. So like they're there and they have the torch and they kind of move the torch and it casts an odd shadow that throws off your aim for a moment. So right next to them.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Got their attention.
Yes, absolutely. And that one is they have an elf. There's an elven arrow.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, and let's start with people in the forward stance. We're gonna go alphabetically. So Burl, you're gonna go first.
Okay.
And all these things are happening simultaneously.
Sure.
So that volley happened first, but then each round of combat is about 30 seconds of time. And so it's all happening at the same time, even though I'm going and resolving each person one at a time.
Yeah. I'm going to run over to foe number 3, and I'm not going to thrust my spear. I'm actually going to swing it like a bat and try to knock them upside their head. I don't want to.
Okay.
I want to try to injure these folks, like knock them out, and be able to question them later. Let's see. So that is a
proper sheriff
feat
thing
die.
to do.
Yeah.
So that's my feat die. I have 2 pips and spears, so that's 2 success die. And because I'm in the forward position, I gain 1d.
Yes.
Right. Okay, here we go. That's not great. Darn it. That's only an 11 out of 15.
Okay, so again, the light is just messing with kind of your depth perception. Having been in the darker forest for a while, your eyes are still kind of adjusting to being near this bright torchlight.
Yeah.
And they are able to kind of step back out of the way as you swing. Also, generally, it didn't matter for this foe, but when you are attacking a foe, you use your TN plus their parry rating.
Oh,
Mhm.
right.
Which this foe doesn't have a parry rating, so.
Okay.
But generally, if you're swinging at someone and they have a parry rating, I will tell you.
Smokes, you weren't kidding about, like,
Nope.
the difficulty
Difficult.
numbers for the...
Hard, yeah. So
Holy
this is why
smokes.
after some testing of the combat system, I was like, we're changing our TNs to minus subtracting from 18.
Yeah.
Appreciate
It makes
it.
a big difference.
Yeah.
And the system leans in to you using hope and doing that, and also you have your combat tasks, which I think they're they are on that little charts
Mhm.
underneath each stance. If you choose the combat task as your action rather than attacking, it does give some bonuses
Yeah.
and things like that.
Which
Okay.
is what I should have done, but I just really wanted to shoot the guy with the
And
torch.
honestly, like opening volley, like it's in the rules because it's a good strategy. Like it was not a bad choice. All right, let's do Hannar next,
All right.
since we're going alphabetically.
I like the intimidate foe action. I'm not going to do it this time because it's also intimidating to get hacked in half by a dwarf.
Yes.
So
Very true.
I'm going to charge up to, I think, number 2,
Okay.
since Burl went for 3.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's just a run up, and then like as I come into the light, I probably have like a wild eye and a big grin on my face.
Okay. They have a parry rating of 1, so it's going to be your TN plus 1.
All right, no problem. No, I still made it.
Okay.
I'm good.
Excellent. Did you
Luckily-
get any 6s?
No,
Okay.
well, on the 12, I did.
That does not count. Nice try.
Yeah, it's
Points for
always
trying,
worth
but
it.
no actual points for trying.
But I still got a hit.
Okay, great. So, what is the damage of your weapon?
5.
5. Okay, so just like you, they lose endurance.
Ooh.
And then, yeah. So, very good. So, tell me what it looks like.
Like, how grievous a wound is 5?
It's pretty bad.
Okay, all right. So I think like I probably
Well,
just.
okay, now I need to be careful about our terminology. A wound is something very specific.
You're right. How
They do not have a
how
wound.
solid a hit?
It is a very solid hit.
Okay, very
Like,
good. Yeah.
You land it.
So I think I probably as I come out into the light and then I just step up and give a solid swing.
Mm-hmm.
It probably sort of impacts a midriff,
Okay.
right? Because that's my swinging
Yeah.
height. And just kind of sticks for a second, but then I pull my axe back out and I give him a
Yeah.
Ooh.
angry look
Yeah.
because I've had to come out here and run in the night.
For sure. I do want to. I forgot. I was gonna. I had this little speech prepared last time, but then we didn't get to combat last time. For combats, I do want to stay in a very Tolkien kind of vibe with them. Tolkien hated violence. He was a pacifist, probably informed by his time in World War One. So he, there are moments where there's like very detailed descriptions of a single moment in combat. A lot of times, like Bilbo Baggins gets knocked out for the entire Battle of the Five Maries because he doesn't really feel like going into depth about the violence and the gore involved. So when we're describing our actions, I'd like to go a heroic route rather than a graphic route with them. So landing a solid hit and I smite my foe or whatever, things like that, more than I, cut his jugular and blood goes everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Sure.
let's go in that direction, more fantasy epic description rather than horror movie description. If we can please stay in that
You
tone
got
with
it.
these combats.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Because these combats do go for blow, and it is very easy to kind of default to the D&D. Oh, I slice him in the
Yeah.
face and rip out my sword and all that sort of thing. So let's avoid that. But you can still be very dramatic about it. I don't want to cut down on the drama, just the blood and gore. Thank you for going along with me on that. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Runa.
I am gonna attack the other one. Number 1.
Number 1.
Foe number 1. Let's see, with my two-handed longsword.
Okay.
Okay, I got 1 6.
Mhm.
12, 16, plus 5, 21. Yeah. I don't know what his parry is.
He has no parry rating.
Okay. Well, my target number was 14 and I got 21.
You hit. Did you get any 6s?
Yes.
Great
Okay.
success.
So the way 6s work on this, down here at the bottom where it says attack rolls on your cheat sheet,
Uh-huh.
it says roll 6 on d6, and there's an arrow pointing to that.
Ooh.
So this is your little menu. You can choose the one of those 4 options, which are heavy blow, parry, pierce, or shield thrust. When you roll a 6 on a d6. So, and these are extra things that are helpful. Heavy blow, you get to add strength damage, so
Uh-huh.
+1 for any two-handed weapon. Parry, you get to increase parry for a round, so based on whichever weapon you're using there. Pierce, you get to add a feat die, +1 to swords, basically they're listed all there. I don't have to read them all out.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're excellent.
I'm going to go with heavy blow
Okay.
because I feel like my features are generous and fierce.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with heavy blow. So that +1, I add strength damage +1.
Generally, just like a bit of a hint. Most of the time, heavy blow or pierce are your best options.
Okay.
The way you really you can knock an enemy down in their endurance. If you deal a wound to an enemy, which is why I wanted to be careful of our description earlier, they are basically most of the stuff right now are going to be taken out with 1 wound. Big bads might take a couple wounds, but pierce lets you have the chance of doing a piercing blow, which means that you have a chance to inflict a wound. So that's
Okay.
another option there.
Got it.
But yeah, heavy blow is also a very solid, good option.
Sweet.
So for that, you get to spend 1 success icon to inflict your adversary an additional loss of endurance equal to your strength rating.
Okay.
So that's the little number above your TN in strength,
Got it. So my strength rating is 4.
right? So you 4 extra endurance damage.
Awesome.
So
And then you're using a two-handed sword, so you get to add +1 to that, right?
Yes.
yes. Perfect.
So 5
5.
endurance
Wow.
damage, and
Ouch.
the damage from my sword is 6.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
Yeah, you.
Bye.
Yeah. Is it really for the 200? Yeah. Plus and an additional 200 one if you or plus 1 if you were using a 200 weapon. Very nice. So that takes this person out of the fight. Nice job.
Yay!
So describe what happens.
So I think she runs in, sword ready over the shoulder,
Mhm.
and just like downswing, carry through, like slice through, like solid hit to the legs, and
Mhm.
just like takes this guy down.
Nice. Yeah, and you kind of hear this, "Ah!" and they like fall to the ground, and are out of the fight. Very nice. Rearward position. So-
Having fired my warning shot.
Yes.
That's definitely what that was. Aerlind draws another arrow, very fine shield-shaped fletchings on beautiful arrows, because why wouldn't you? And is going to try and hit. Is going to first yell out, "You can stop now! You've been caught!"
Mhm.
And is going to shoot for foe 3 again.
Okay.
We're gonna roll better this time. We did not. Nope. Another warning shot. That's definitely what that was.
Okay, absolutely. We're gonna say that like one of your comrades is fighting hand to hand and steps like in the way. So the last thing you kind of have to pull aside so you don't accidentally like maybe hurt one of your friends.
Mhm.
So that way we're not doing another trick of the light. Like
Yeah.
there's another reason for you to miss.
Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good job.
I like not getting shot.
Yes.
All right. So Burl, you've been in hand-to-hand combat with number 2.
Number 3.
Number 3?
Mhm.
Were you with number 2?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I got it backwards. How could I do that? Okay, yes. So Hannar, they're going to take a swing at you first.
Certainly. What are they armed with?
The one
Sword?
you're fighting with has a short sword, and number 3, who has an actual name but you don't know it yet, has a short spear.
Oh, spear
So
versus
spear and
spear.
spear.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
and I've got the normal side spear, and they've got the short spear.
Yep.
So it's like the opposite.
They meet in the middle somehow.
You're right. Yeah.
So let's see. They roll. Okay.
And you're rolling against my parry rating, right?
Yes.
So,
So yeah,
17.
foes always roll against your parry. 17. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we have good
I'm an
parries.
armored
Yeah.
dwarf. Like,
That's fine. It's not fine. So yeah, they miss
cool.
by a lot. I'm gonna say they like actually they hit you, but it's one of those things where it's like ha ha and clink, and like their little short spear like dinks and like a fly being flicked off of someone's shoulder, off your beautiful dwarven make armor.
I think I probably like look at where it hit me, and then I look back at them, and I get even crazier. eyes.
Yeah. And obviously he was not prepared for. Oh,
Like random townsfolk with a pitchfork is the level he was ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. All right, and Burl, number 3, is going to attack you.
Okay, real quick. Parry is based on wits, right?
Yes, it
Okay.
should be the number that's up. Or actually, it's on your sheet down at the bottom.
Yeah, no, I did correct my my parry.
Got
It was from the old calculation.
Oh, okay.
My parry is 15.
Thank you for correcting that. Oh, okay. So the interesting, fun thing with this is,
And did you add the 1d for my being in a forward stance?
I thank you for reminding me. Look at you being a super honest player.
Oh, you know, it's the way to.
Okay. Interesting thing about foes, they get the Eye of Sauron is the good one for them,
Oh no!
Of course
Oh,
it is.
no.
Of course it is.
which of course is what he rolled.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
So it's a
The
success.
spear on spear actions is not gonna
Yes.
go well for me.
But they did not. He did not roll any like extra ones.
Okay.
So he got success. And so now what you can do, he hit you for 3.
Oof, okay.
And generally for endurance, we don't roll like protection rolls. If you are going to have a wound is when you roll protection. Because
Okay.
that's like when it really matters. And there are directions for that at the very bottom written in my very nice handwriting.
Yeah.
And when I say very nice handwriting, I mean frantic end of the day, been teaching all day, need to get this done and copied on the school Xerox machine.
You did so good.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's barely legible.
Okay.
It's above doctor level, below what I usually do.
All right, no worries. So I am at 20 endurance. I guess.
Okay.
I'm doing all right.
You're doing,
You're doing
you're doing
great.
okay. All right, so that was the end of the round. We now may change stance. If you'd prefer to change stance, go ahead and change yours on the little digital thing we have.
Vibing.
Keeping it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna stay.
Everybody
with,
likes where they're
stay
at?
with
Okay.
forward. Yeah.
perfect. Okay. Then let's start. Let's go reverse alphabetical order this time. So Runa.
Oh, right. I realized I forgot to roll my extra die for being in forward stance last time.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
That's helpful.
Yeah. Okay, so conveniently, that guy that just hit Burl is going to get my attention at this point. You hit my friend. Okay, I got 2 successes. Oops, this was a 1.
Wait, 2 6. You mean 2 6?
Oh, 2 6s, sorry.
Okay,
I
that's
got 2
important.
6s.
Mhm.
So that's
Wow.
14, 16, 17.
Okay.
With 17 with 2 6s.
Okay. So it's a good success.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you get to choose 2 choices off your menu.
Dang.
Menu of
Yeah.
murder.
Don't fight Runa, guys.
Reducing people to a paste. Wow.
So and you can use the same one twice. So if you wanted
Okay.
to do heavy blow twice, that absolutely works.
Listen, I know what I'm about. Two, please.
Okay. So okay. So that was 5 last time. Extra damage for each time.
Uh-huh.
It'd be
So that's 10
10 extra.
extra damage.
Ooh, plus 6 for
Plus 6.
Goodbye.
Yeah. That's a lot. Well, so it's 16 damage.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, that was my tough person. Right?
Was.
Was being past tense. They had 16 endurance that Runa just took out. I mean, I feel like that's the rules.
Yeah.
That
yeah, I
seems
mean,
like a lot, but
sounds about right.
well done.
Thank you.
2 10 I mean,
Yeah.
We found something I'm good at.
very good at this.
At the same time, guys, we have to start doing less well. Otherwise, it's going to get way harder.
Yes.
All right. So describe to me what this attack looks like.
I think she sees this guy take a swing at Sausage, who is she thinks of as her like adventure Padawan and is like, I think not. And just steps over the guy that she just laid out. Takes like 2 giant steps over and is just like, wham!
Nice.
How dare you?
Very good. Yeah, so you take this slashing blow, and this person was still kind of focused on Burl, so you almost take them unawares. Like it's like the last minute they start to turn, which actually makes it worse. Because instead of like getting them kind of like upside the head, like they actually turn and just like slam like right in their face, and like very heroically like knock them to the ground, and they just like cinematically fall at your feet in front of Burl. And then you kind of have a moment of like,
Yeah, kind of
Nod.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I got
yeah,
you.
like, thank
Yeah.
you. I'm like still wincing from the hit.
yeah. Very good. All right. Hannar.
All right. I've had enough. Oh! So Gandalf rune on my feet die.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
No 6s. So Yeah. So that's
So what's the damage for your weapon?
5.
5. Okay. Wow. Yeah, those two-handed weapons really.
No, I'm using it one-handed.
Oh, you do.
Holy
Oh,
smokes.
it just has 5 damage still.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It's a fell axe.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
It has a name.
His names. That's right. They do not have named weapons. All right. So yeah, you take another swing, and it still lands. You can see them like tense up, and like they try and dodge, and they realize it's not going to happen, and they kind of tense up, and like you feel the solid hit as your attack lands. Burl.
Okay, I'm still kind of low to the ground, so I'm gonna take a swipe at phone number 2. Go for the legs. Let's see. I'm in forward, so I have 2 pips plus 1. I'm gonna burn a hope point because I got hope.
Yeah, and generally, if you have to move for a long distance across the battlefield, that takes a major action. You do not have to do that right
Okay,
now.
cool.
We're in a clump, but I'm just trying to like inform you of things for future fights that might be more tactically challenging.
So like if I were going in,
Yeah.
it might be my
Exactly.
Gotta clear that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so that is...
And you took your extra die for being forward. Okay.
I did, yeah. 8, 10, 11, 16, 20, 22,
Oh dang.
plus a great success.
Very
So
good.
I'm going to spend that. I mean, I'm first of all, my damage for my spear is 4.
Okay.
Are they still up? Is that okay?
I mean, I feel like you got your success. You need to
Okay.
have your dramatic moment.
Okay, all right. I take my spear. I actually wedge it kind of like between this person's legs, and I give it a jerk, which sends them kind of like whoa, tumbling head over heels into the ground,
Nice.
and knocking their head onto the pile of wood.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are out for the count.
Okay, all
For
right.
sure. All right. So yes, you now have these 3 mysterious figures, and they are unconscious down on the ground in front of you. They have some minor injuries, but nothing life-threatening. And what would you like to do now? You were in the middle of the forest. The torch fell neatly into like a little patch of clover, so no forest fire started. But it's now throwing very dramatic light
Of course.
around this little clearing where this happened.
Aerlind's just gonna come running over from the trees.
It is my length of hardy rope's time to shine.
Yes.
So I'm gonna start gathering these folks and tying them up.
Okay, very nice. And yeah, you're able to do that.
While he's doing that, I just want to look over the logs, look over kind of the scene, and see like, why is this happening? Why are they? What is going on here?
Okay, you
If there's
don't.
any indication.
Yeah, I mean, they are stealing this stuff.
Yeah.
They are. You can tell all like same as before. There's been a lot of things dragged in this direction and like continuing north. You can hear the river. It's pretty close now, like probably within 50 yards. So you've traveled a ways, because the river kind of bends kind of like northwest from where Creek's Crossing bridge was, up, and it kind of goes this way. So as you travel north, you come to another place where the river kind of would meet your path. And so that's up ahead, like I said, 50 yards. And yeah, it looks very practiced. Like they have like lashed ropes around this, and we're just dragging a bunch of the planks.
I'm curious if they were headed to the river.
Yeah, where were they going with these things?
We can continue on.
I'm tempted
and
to
see.
run ahead.
Do any of you recognize any of these 3? Like, did you see them come in for dinner, or?
Oh yeah. Did then any of
Yeah,
them
can
look
we-
familiar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you were looking in their rooms
Yeah.
as best you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was creeping in their
Yeah,
window.
Yeah, and I
you
was-
got to see a bunch of them.
And I was having an office in the tavern.
Let me look at our skills list here, just to keep things interesting. I feel like scan isn't quite right, but I guess it's examine closely or attentively for details.
Yeah.
Is part of scan. So go ahead and give
Sure.
me a scan roll.
Okay.
spent all my
Oh.
good rolls at the beginning.
Same.
Yikes.
That is
Seven.
not a success.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
You're not sure if you saw all the people who were there. You got a better look at the place they were staying than the individual people.
Okay.
And it may have been possible that they came in while you were talking to Olga, or maybe they didn't come in at all. Maybe they were out here the whole time, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
You do notice, just because you are, you would notice that number 3 is definitely not just a laborer.
Mhm.
They have training, and you probably would have noticed that.
In the fight, yeah.
Well, definitely in the fight, but like the way they move, you probably would have noticed if you'd seen them on the street, but you're not 100% sure.
Are they all unconscious?
Yes.
Okay.
And are being tied up currently.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think I'll tie him to a tree
Okay.
too. So
Absolutely.
lash him to a tree. Maybe even gag him, like strips of cloth in their mouths.
Okay. I'm not gonna make you roll to tie them up.
Okay, sure.
They're
fair.
unconscious.
Unconscious bodies.
You're
Yeah.
a sheriff. You're good at this.
Yeah. I've tied up many unconscious people. Really. I mean,
Yeah, we get it.
Oh.
So that way, if any of you want to like run ahead, you can. But I mean, it's not gonna take them too long to tie you if you all want to go together too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not far, but it's only like 50 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think Aerlind is not opposed to running along on their own. Happens far too regularly, I think.
Okay.
And they are well tied.
Yeah.
You've gone enough places with Burl to know that
I
knots are trustworthy.
trust Burl.
Yeah, and these people are out for the count for a
Okay.
while. Like there's no like, they're dazed and this kind of like, no, they are out.
All right. Yeah. Shall we follow the path and kind of see?
Yeah.
If they were maybe meeting somebody up ahead or something.
Maybe.
And I would like to douse their torch.
Absolutely. You head up, continuing kind of to the river.
Yeah.
Following kind of along the path that
Yeah. The sort of beaten path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think with my stealth roll from earlier, I'm gonna stay and guard these 3.
Okay. All
You
right.
guys scout ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
We can certainly do that. Yeah.
If you were going, you do need to roll stealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't go so well.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought that look was for me opening my drink under the table and it was too loud. I was like, oh no.
No, actually, it lined up with dice rolling.
That's kind of
So
what I was waiting
Yeah.
for. It's like quiet.
I'm gonna just keep the failure.
Yeah. I got the eye again.
Oh,
and
wow.
I missed by one.
That I.
By one.
So
Nothing dramatically bad happened to me, but I'm not stealthy.
I just
So
didn't roll.
all 3 of you failed, though.
Yep.
So as you're starting to quietly walk towards this area in the river, you suddenly hear what like those traps that kids make on like clubhouses, like basically cans tied
Yeah.
to strings.
Oh no.
So each of you kind of like trip onto these that are set about in the woods. And so there's this great kind of like empty can clattering sound. And then like deafening silence, because that is like caused all the animals to also freeze for a moment. There's
Yeah.
just like this moment where the forest takes its collective breath and it's just like
I feel like it's so quiet. You hear Runa like,
accurate. Okay.
Yes.
But then things kind of go back to normal. The birds start kind of talking again, and like nothing seems to have happened.
Yeah, we're all frozen. We don't hear anybody like exclaim anything or far off sounds or okay.
Yeah, the only thing that was continually going through this is the sound of the river, because the river
Okay.
is not going to be like whoop.
What?
So, so nothing else has happened.
Okay. I mean, I think we continue on.
Yeah,
Maybe.
let's
Yeah.
hustle down to the river in case it
Yeah.
triggered
We've come
somebody
this
to push
far.
off with a
Yeah,
boat or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll like sling my spear and pull out my bow
Okay.
Yeah.
this time.
I've got my bow out. I don't think I put it away for a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You get to the riverbank. You don't see anyone around.
Okay.
There is a torch that's in like a holder that looks like it is kind of their end destination, and it is illuminating part of the river that has tons of planks of wood floating in it. And there's like a net that's holding in all this floating lumber. So the water's going through, but just a ton of wood that's floating in here, and it's all like finished. It's all like it had been prepared to use.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Huh.
is all just sitting there floating now.
And no sign of anybody like guarding it or anything. And
No,
okay,
Not at
all
this
right,
point.
okay.
it doesn't seem like
It
they were
might-
like super worried about people coming
Yeah.
in. Like the 3 people probably were the only ones on it tonight, at least.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
This is very strange.
I think we gotta go wake up some, thieves and ask some questions.
I also think we have good news for Yam.
Yeah.
Hey, do we want to
Indeed.
take those 3 back before we talk to them, or do we want to kind of do it here in the isolation of the woods?
I'll defer
Well-
to your skills.
If we take them back to town, then we can inquire if any of the townspeople recognize them as people that have been here working.
Hmm.
I'm
I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
You do notice there are some of the boards that have been lashed together, like in groups. If any of you ever had any experience with
Yeah, both.
that's
Hello.
100%.
Floating wood.
Yes. You would 100% know this is one of the ways that they bundle lumber that they're going to just like float down rivers
Yes.
to use to travel.
Mhm.
Usually you wouldn't do it with finished, like
Yeah, this
already
is weird.
cut
Yeah.
boards. But it is a way to very easily move a bunch of logs or timber or wood without very much work. Because pretty much someone can just kind of walk or ride a horse along the river.
Yeah, and
Or even just kind of let it flow.
send it and then have someone
Mhm.
downriver catch it.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
So you would know that.
And I, after having complained about how rustic their method of transporting wood was earlier in the drag, now it's like, oh, and they just explained the whole thing.
Does it look like this isn't all of it? Like some of the wood has already been floated down the river and claimed elsewhere? Like kind of.
I'm not sure you would have any way of knowing that.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. Like
Because-
length side of the bridge.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good hypothesis, a
Yeah.
good guess that this is probably not the first night that they've done
Yeah,
this. But you have no idea. You don't have a way of knowing because you haven't.
Yeah, I'm
been
not.
around
I'm
to-
not a carpenter or anything like that.
Well, and you also have no idea how much wood they've been sealing for how long.
Oh, sure,
You kind
yeah.
of have a.
And replacing and getting stolen
Exactly,
again. And
yeah.
right.
All right.
I think yeah.
Let's drag these folks back then. Have ourselves a good old-fashioned interrogation.
Yes.
I'm going to kindly remind you as a GM about the misdeeds. So if you do certain evil things, you get shadow points. So just be
Oh, sure.
aware.
Yes.
asking questions. We're not pushing all the way into like.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
not
Yeah, we're not gonna.
interrogating
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Wanted to remind you.
Sure.
There's a little cheat
Yes.
sheet
I
chart on your
will-
thing if you want.
I will hoist the boards that are in the wood still to take
Mhm.
back tonight.
All right, very good.
I think Aerlind, and you've known this about him for a while, has a bit of a distaste about like actually interrogating people.
Oh, sure.
Just like, okay, yeah, I know why we do this, but
Okay. All right.
It's alright. Runa's like staring at him, waiting for him
Yeah.
to wake up. There's questions for you.
They wake up to your piercing gaze.
Considering how much damage you did, that would be very disconcerting.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll take the one end of the rope tied to my spear, and I'll kind of like start walking them over.
Okay.
Can position yourself around as you see fit.
I'll bring up the rear with the boards.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. You're dragging the boards back through. Are you gonna just wait till they wake up? Or are you going to?
No, I think I'm gonna. I think we're gonna wake them up and drag them into town, right?
Oh, we
Or
can
do I
probably try and
literally
carry
want to
them.
drag them into town?
If we're gonna try to wake him up in the forest, Runa's gonna want to ask them some questions.
Okay. All right.
She's not very patient.
I'm up for like literally just like hoisting them. I mean, as a hobbit, it might not be the easiest thing for me. But, like,
Yeah.
It would be easier if they could walk back to town,
okay, all right,
even if slowly.
sure, all right. You want to wake them up and just ask a few questions then? I'm down.
Is that
for
all right with you,
I'm
Aerlind?
down for that too.
I can stand guard. It's fine.
Fair.
I will ask politely.
All right.
So, do we need to do anything to wake them? I mean,
I'm not gonna make you roll anything, but
Okay.
I'd like you to narratively describe how you wake them up. Do you throw water in their face? Do you slap them a little bit?
I probably have a chunk of sulfur in a pocket.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
nice.
probably have all kinds of smelling sort of
Just-
salt things.
Grind it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Super gross.
Are you doing all three of them, or are you picking one?
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Just pick one to start and.
The one that has the skills.
yes. That guy looks
Number
like...
3. the
Yeah, number 3
Torchman.
looks like they were in charge.
So yeah, I'll crush up a little hunk of sulfur and I'll just
wave it
full
in.
like rub my hand across under their nose.
Oof,
Okay.
rough.
Deliberate cruelty. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
Rotten eggs.
Yeah, I know.
You can deal
It's
with it.
totally especially for someone who's been robbing a poor town. There, it's fine. So kind of wipe it across their face, and it leaves like this like yellowish kind of like mark across their face a little bit. He wakes up.
And he wakes up to my face real close.
Yeah, yeah. It's the thing where it's like he's kind of dazed for a second, and he like leans back. The blazes are all of you doing?
We have some questions for you. I would like to persuade this guy to answer
Okay.
my questions.
Okay.
Because convince via eloquence and reason.
Okay. Please give me a persuade roll and then explain your do your persuade.
Okay.
So it's going to be
is
versus wits.
18. And my target number is 14. So I
Oh.
You
succeed.
succeed.
You have obviously encountered the full brunt of what my compatriots and I are capable of. It's going to be in your best interest to explain what you and these two were doing with this wood that doesn't belong to you, where you were taking it, and why.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid enough to take more of a beating. Make a sound point. He kind of like gives a dirty look to the two other people. They knew what they were doing in a fight. We wouldn't be in this position in the first place. Yeah, taking the wood, selling it off. We float it down river in the middle of the night, and either just let it sail off to the ocean, or if we can, if it's not too damaged from being in the water so long, we pull it out and we sell it downriver.
And who is paying you?
I honestly didn't ask too many questions. It was an offer that came from one of the folk in the town, and didn't seem like a big deal. Really easy gig. Didn't have to hurt anybody. Didn't have to do it. Just take some wood in the middle of the night. Once in a while, some tools.
Could you describe the person in town?
Yeah, he's tall, gangly, kind of muscular, staying in the house that these two are staying in.
And I look at everybody else. That sounds like the landowner, right? Yeah.
Actually, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
Mhm.
Oh.
No, the landowner is like a very short, stocky,
Oh, okay.
a little bit, but it does sound like one of the people you saw earlier.
Okay.
So the landowner is like if you imagined a sausage that wore nice clothing, That would be kind of a good
Not,
description.
not like sausage.
Not sausage.
Oh, like okay, all right,
Like
like
a
literal
Actual
like,
sausage where it's like a little bit strained against the and just a little like that's what it is. Like not like soft pudgy, but like
Collar
tight,
about to
Mhm.
pop.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
kind of fits into their nice clothes just barely, and almost their skin just almost barely, just because from eating so many rich foods, a little greasy, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Who does this sound like?
This does sound like one of the people you
that
saw
I saw.
earlier.
And I'll tell them that. I'll be like, I know who this guy is.
Yeah.
So you and these two were you the only ones paid to steal the wood, or are there others?
I mean, I've worked with some other people before. It's not every night. We're not supposed to take all of it ever, just skimming a little bit off the top. That way we don't completely stop the bridge. I mean, that would just, be mean. But, I mean, it's not really hurting any. We don't have to fight. I mean, it's an easy gig. I've had to do some, shady stuff in my time.
Just because it's easy doesn't mean it's right.
Nor does it make it less hurtful.
I mean, it's a little less hurtful than, knocking people for their goods on the highway or something. Nobody actually gets hurt.
Aerlind says that from 6 paces with their back to the whole interrogation.
Yeah.
Just so much disdain.
All right, well, we're gonna take you into town, and you're going to pay your dues.
I mean, can we work something out? I made some pretty good money on this gig.
And that money is going to go to repay the town for the lost time and money that delaying the bridge cost them.
And then they're kind of hey, negotiating, kind of hopeful phase, just completely falls. Oh. And then we have the cinematic shot of their coin purse that's hanging from their belt. As they slump back, it just clinks a little bit with coins in the purse. You're like, oh, okay, clink. Fine, do-gooders. And he throws a dirty look to his two compatriots again. We're still completely
Yeah.
yeah, just because you can just see if you could see his thought bubble, it would be if you were better fighters, you wouldn't be in this position.
He's having a very bad day. Well, I think I've heard all I need. Do you have any questions for this fine gentleman?
It seems like plenty of proof.
Being caught red-handed usually does.
Well, at least the connection to the
Yes.
work site and everything.
Mhm.
So,
And we've got a lead to somebody else too
Mhm.
in town. So
Yeah, I think let's go. It's getting late.
what time is it? It's
Late.
yeah.
Yeah, I would guess it's probably 9 or 10.
Okay,
at this
all right.
point.
Yeah.
It was dark. I guess it would have to be a little bit later than that because we're still in spring and summer. So probably around 11.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then yeah, it's definitely time to
Right.
get back into town. Yeah.
I'd like everyone to please roll awareness.
certainly.
I'm not-
Let me
Okay.
pick up a feat die.
Or scan, whichever one's better. I'm good at either.
Scan.
Oh,
Man,
the
good.
options have changed significantly.
Hey!
I succeed and
Yeah.
I got a Tangor room.
No, excellent.
Ooh. Great success.
I probably should have just stuck with awareness for all of you, but it's fine. Because awareness is more like abstract. Did you notice something? Scan is specifically looking. So next time I'll know better.
I did not succeed.
I would
think she's
succeed
still
either
human.
way.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
the same roll for me, so you can call it
Fantastic.
awareness.
Okay,
Yeah. No, that's not a success.
it doesn't matter. As long as one of you, that's fine.
Cool.
So while you're finishing up doing what you're doing here, you kind of hear a sound off slightly to the south. So it's
Back
it's a
towards town.
ways. Yeah, towards town. So it sounds like something is dashing off, but they
Oh.
weren't close to you. It's someone away or someone or something a ways away, is now taking off in the other direction.
Very quickly, Aerlind, because he spent this whole time not trying to avoid being a part of this interrogation, kind of turns and very urgently, there's someone moving that way very quickly.
Anybody up for catching them?
I think they're just gonna start running.
Yeah,
Actually.
yeah, I'm up against it. Well, I mean, I said I'd tie these folks up to my spear and take them. So I don't if it's if I can take that back, or if this happens before that, I'll like start running
Okay.
because I kind of just dive headlong into things.
So the two of you are pursuing.
I'm probably gonna be several steps behind. Like I would chase after, but I gotta put down the logs and or the
What are
wood.
we doing with the
planks.
people?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't.
one of them's awake.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah.
just leave them.
Runa will stay to guard.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that we still haven't untied them from the tree either.
Yeah,
Like,
she
they're
would
still-
not
they're still
untie
tied
them
up, so,
to
yeah,
speak
yeah.
to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're let me just untie you to wake you
I
up.
want you to be comfortable.
Okay, so we're dashing.
Yeah, we're
The
just
two are
running.
dashing. Okay. I am going to have you roll hunting.
Ooh, okay, I get to use my.
So
extra
that's what we
when you
roll to
pip.
pursue or follow tracks.
I'm gonna spend a hope die.
Yeah, you know, I'm at 12 hope. It's not bad. But I want that extra die. Ooh.
I have no skill in hunting.
Okay. Come on. Come
Good
on.
at hearing, not good at tracking. No.
Nope. That's
Nope.
an 8 out of 15.
Whew.
Oh, I spent a hope die already, and I'm worried about getting low. Oh no.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna look and see if it's worth it. Hold on. I'm gonna read the letter of my elven skill one more time because I feel like that's where I'm headed. But
If you guys wanted to use a fellowship point,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
This would be
Now the fellowship point gives you a hope. So one hope to spend.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
not.
Which then you can, it doesn't give you a die, but you can
well, but I can spend it doing.
yes. Or
Yeah.
you can spend a hope and then you can recover the hope
Right.
immediately after.
well, that's what I meant. If you're worried
Yeah.
about running out of hope.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I will oh, I got to the page and then I closed the book like a fool. I understand why this is a terrifying cultural blessing to have because you could easily just yeah, I'm gonna spend a hope to achieve magical success on a skill roll.
Heck yeah.
And we're all burning one fellowship point for that?
Yes.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So make sure you all update the fellowship points. Mm-hmm. Very nice. And all right, so success and now success.
Well, no,
Well, we
mine,
both failed.
Oh, you
yeah,
both
yeah,
failed.
but
We spent the fellowship point for me to then have the
The hope to
hope
burn.
to spend to do the special thing.
Okay, perfect.
To use my elven skill.
Elven skill. All right.
'Cause I'm bad at
Um,
hunting.
Yeah, so you were able to track them through the forest, and you're not quite able to catch up with them, but you get a very good look at them. This looks like, based on the description, the person that they were describing, kind of the tall, gangly, kind of like the head person of the loggers, and you get a good look at them as they just like sprint because they're long and gangly, they're very fast. Like just like beelining it back to town and like making it into the light of the town and like running off as you kind of pursue.
huh.
Hmm.
So they're gonna be ready for us when we come back.
Yes. Well, I'm for going back and getting friends.
Yeah, agreed. I think better for there to be more of us when we come back into town.
And we'll save the town a trip getting more of the wood.
Right.
All right.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll head on back and grab the two of you,
Mm-hmm.
and then march the
We can-
three folks.
We can tie their rope to the stack of wood
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah.
because then
Oh,
only
yeah.
one of us is burdened with the cargo, as it were.
Okay.
Right? So if we get to the edge of town and there's a group of people waiting for us, at least 3 people are ready to start fighting, and then I can.
Okay.
Fair point.
And
Sure.
then they still have to try and drag off some lumber if they run away when I set it down.
Right. Right. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sure.
All right, cool. So that's what you're doing. You make your way down. It takes a little bit of time, but especially now that you're headed back towards town, it doesn't take as long as it did the first time because you're not tracking in the middle of the night. You're like, we know where town is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking all the lumber back. You're taking these 3 ruffians back with you. You get into town, and there isn't a group waiting for you. There is a lot of activity happening, and you can see as you're kind of going into town in the big house where they were all staying.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that there's a couple of the people who were staying there who are suddenly leaving. Quickly. And it looks like there's a couple like there are lights on in every room in this house now. And some of them might be gone already, some of them aren't. Some of them, when they see you come into town, like turn around and go back inside and close the door, and that sort of thing.
Okay. The ones that we see leaving, is the tall gangly guy one of them?
You do not see him right this moment.
Okay.
We should make fast before they all leave town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do we want to? Oh, well. What do you want to do with these? Or should maybe one of us should like go wake up Yam or something like that.
Yeah,
And
I
get
was gonna say we should wake up the Reeve.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
do that.
Okay. All right.
Maybe Olga can lend some muscle to rounding up these.
Oh. Sure.
Ruffians.
Nice. I'll run over and I'll see if I can round up and
Tall
help.
and
Sure. Okay.
Intimidating.
All right. I'll run to the bridge side and and ask around, see if I can get some people.
Yeah, I think the townspeople would be up for. Hey, these guys been stealing your wood.
Yeah. This is the most exciting thing that's happened
In this town for
to
a long
anybody
time,
in
yeah,
a while.
since
They will
Redford.
talk. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll run over to the bridge side. You're gonna.
I'm running
wake
over to
up
go see the Reeve.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably carry the pile of wood up to the front of the bridge side
Mm-hmm.
and drop it down. Because there's probably like a hitching post or something out front.
You're gonna
Yeah.
hitch the wood to the hitching
Well, I'm
post?
not. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
drop it over the top, so they'd
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
lift it up
Right,
over
so it's
to
kind of
run
like
away.
Yeah.
supported.
yeah.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Nice
And you
plan,
got a
good plan.
super high strength, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna say this is probably something they're gonna have to like wake up, feel like perfect, and all work together seamlessly to be able to lift this wood over this. So it's very unlikely. Great. Okay.
Are you going to the house?
Yeah. To start busting some heads.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a bad idea, but Runa's like, you. I knew you guys were up to no good.
Yeah. Very dramatic music as you like go in and like I can just see you like throw the door open, it's like slam, and there's like the silhouette of Runa in the doorway with like the torchlight from the outside, and you step in and like the lights are all on inside, or like the torches are all on and candles everywhere, and you like walk into the warm like fiery glow, and it's just like dancing on your hair and like glinting on your armor, and it's your weapon drawn.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And you've got your big sword in your hands, and I'm gonna have you roll awe.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm not real good at that.
Okay.
You know what? This is very cinematic, so I'm gonna burn a hope to auto success that if I can.
Okay. Well, you don't get auto successes; you get
Oh,
an extra die.
Extra
Yeah,
die.
that's
Okay.
Yeah, that's her.
That's
That's
my
your
special
special
elven
power.
thing.
Okay. I will use that for an extra die though because I only have 1 pip in it.
Okay.
And I would like to succeed, please.
Love this for you.
Okay, I got a 6,
Okay.
and I exactly meet my target
Ooh,
number.
Great success.
Very nice. So you walk in, and what do you say to instill respect, wonderment, admiration, or fear, so that they will like listen to you and hopefully avoid a fight?
I think she walks in and says, "Your time of wood stealing has come to an end."
Okay.
And just like basically it's like surrender now or face the consequences.
Nice. I'm gonna say like as you do that, you kind of do the thing where you drop your sword, like where you like stand with it like facing towards the floor, like ready to swing it immediately, and it like threateningly glints in the light, and there's just like a little smirk on your face that just tells them like, please make my day. Like, like either way you choose, I will win. It's like the confidence on your face in the torchlight.
You're also like tossed from the fight before too. This
Yeah.
is like
Amazing moments. And any who look also kind of sort of see like right through the door past you to where your comrades are now standing next to a very threatening looking dwarf who's like thrown all this lumber over, and they're like attached with the rope to the pitching post outside. So there's just like this like rack focus of that, and then back. And there are 4 of them in the house, and they have all decided they are going to be like, listen, no, we weren't gonna cause it. I was out playing poker. I was not doing anything. Like none of them are gonna cause the fight.
Excellent.
Is the tall and gangly one in there? Like
He is
one of
not
them?
in there.
Oh no.
I know what's up then.
gonna go rustle up some help.
Yeah. I mean, so I run into the bridge side. Is Olga like still up and kind of?
Oh yeah, Olga's doing the thing where she's like wiping down the tables, putting
Sure.
up chairs. There's like the 3 regulars who are kind of passed out and still kind of like on the bar at the end. She's not worrying about them.
Yeah.
She knows exactly where they're gonna go. One of them might spend the night in the bar. It's fine. It's a very small town.
Okay, I'm gonna run in and I'm gonna say, Olga, we need your muscle. We found the thieves, the wood thieves, and we need a hand catching them, rounding them up.
Already? You found them already?
He's like, yeah, sorry it took so long, but it took us a little while to track them through the
It's been
woods.
like 5 hours. It took us a while. Yeah, absolutely. I don't remember if I used a voice for it. I don't think I did. I think it just like, yeah. That's amazing. Well done. Okay, yeah, no. And she grabs like I'm gonna say her like kind of weapon of choice is what might have at one point been part of what do they call it when they're like making butter?
Oh,
Butter.
Churn.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the churn handle
Yeah.
that like has like gotten like is not in the base anymore.
Yeah.
So it's just like a big churn handle that has like a big flat paddle on one end. And she just kind of grabs it and like starts walking with you.
Okay, all right, and I will lead her over to the house, and I take it, Hannar, you've put your stuff down.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like,
By the time you come out, I probably just finished getting it all down.
all right, awesome. I'm gonna say, Hannar, let's go. We got some heads to bust.
And I
Alright.
reach back in my cloak and pull out the extra that I haven't had a
Utility
chance
dwarf.
to clean, so it's probably
Yeah.
kind of icky.
Yeah. And also I'm gonna say as Olga's leaving the tavern, she like not like really whacks, but like kind of whacks 2 of the people who are like half passed out on the bar. Hey, we're gonna need some backup. Go get some help. We're gonna need some bodies. Drink some water. Go.
Pick your right and B.
Yeah. And they kind of like, oh yeah, and then like the kind of the adrenaline rush like kind of wakes them up a little bit, and they run off.
Gotta
out the
dash
side
out.
door.
Okay.
Then I go.
And we're gonna join Runa over at the house.
Yeah. We'd head over there.
Yeah, and Olga's there with you.
It's like the right stuff walk with a Hobbit, a
Yeah.
dwarf, and angry Olga with a butter churn.
With a butter churn.
Battle butter
I
churn.
love her.
Oh goodness.
And we don't see tall and gangly over there then.
Go to the Reeves house and bang on the door.
Okay. We're gonna say that it's happening simultaneously to them going and getting Olga and her making her amazing threatening speech. So I'm like after a minute, like I'm like bleary eyed. Yes.
Go, around Tuvison.
Yeah. And he runs over. Yes, what do you need? And grabs his like robes, puts them on, and like hair's like all messy, like when you've been laying on your pillow, it's kind of like off to the side, and he's trying to wipe the sleep out of his eyes and like straighten his yes, Master Elf, yes.
We found your wood thieves. And as he says that, he just kind of like adjusts the robe one more time, and it's like perfectly even now.
Oh, amazing! That's fantastic. And well, let's go. Where are they?
They're at the house with all the workers. We should. Some of them are outside of Olga's. We should go.
Oh, okay, absolutely. Yes, let's go. Thank you for fixing it. That's interesting. Okay. And then, like, bumbling along, taking like 3 steps to every one of your long.
Okay, let's go.
Very nice. And you all kind of converge. And there's townspeople now. People are woken up. Some people are standing there with like candles and lanterns and some torches so they can see what's happening. And yeah, the 4 people have come out from inside at your behest, I suppose, Runa.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 are still tied there. One of them's still out cold. The other one is like glaring and just in like this anger / embarrassment / I've been caught, which was the one that you'd interrogated earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one's kind of like, what's happening? Like, what? Like just befuddled and like still kind of like groggy, trying to figure out what's happening, and just like, oh. So, and that is what's happening. And Yam, the Reeve. Well, these are the culprits.
They are, and she'll relay to him. Point out the one that I asked questions to. We found out that the one, at least giving the orders, is not present, and she'll describe the tall, gangly guy. He unfortunately ran off as we were coming
He came
back
back
into
towards
town.
town, though.
He did come back towards town, so he may still be about somewhere. But if any of you would like to explain who is in charge of this detestable wood theft, it would be very much in your best interest.
They all kind of like look around at each other, and the one that you interrogated earlier is like, I'm not taking anything for these people. Rugar is the one the tall gangly one. He's the one who paid us all and organized everything. And you can kind of hear like the townspeople murmuring, Rugar. And then like oh, the tall one. Oh, he was always so rude when he ordered from Olga. Like all this like small town like whisper gossip.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much whispered. Like people are angry. They're kind of talking, but it's like a in the background.
And we get the impression from all those murmurs and talk that Rugar is not one of the locals. They came in. And
Yeah, no,
okay,
absolutely.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna walk over to Thaddeus's house and just check and see if that's where Rugar went.
Cool. You know what? Are there enough people to kind of like
Yeah.
manage
You want
these
some
folks
company?
here?
Oh yeah. There's like 20 townsfolk now. Like the entire town is now awake and out here, other than like maybe some kids.
Yeah.
But even a
Yeah.
couple of like the little kids. There's like a 9-year-old who just looks like exhausted, but like I want to be here for see the thing.
Excitement?
Yeah, things are happening. I have to be here. Yes. Okay. So these people are fine. You know, a couple of the bigger townsfolk have like taken custody of the 4 who came out and are questioning them, trying to see. And they're like, I didn't do it. I never stole any wood. I was just building your bridge. And then they're, don't lie, you did this. And they're like turning on each other. They're not. They're not like high level criminals.
Not organized.
Yeah. There's not
yeah.
a high level of loyalty here. So yeah, they're doing that. So you're heading towards Thaddeus' house?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the landowner should definitely know what's going on. We should tell him.
At least inform
Yes,
them, right?
inform him. I think before we leave where everyone is gathered, I think Aerlind just makes sure to make it clear that these were just hired mercs, essentially.
Mm.
Just to make it very clear this is not some vendetta of theirs, that we're just kind of going to go figure a little more stuff out.
At some point too, you probably convey to at least to Yam, the Reeve, that's like there's still a lot of the wood up there. Not all of it's going to be
Yeah.
usable, but a lot of it's there. So
Yeah.
that definitely quells the anger too. Like, oh, okay, that's good. So they've delayed things, but they haven't like done too much. Hopefully, we can use a lot of that
Right.
still. So then it becomes more, instead of like anger, it's more jeering.
And I do urge, like, before it gets too water soaked, you should probably go get it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, and so they actually start sending. There's a couple of folk who heads north together with a bunch of torches to go check out, see how much wood is there, see how much is still good, that sort of thing. So yeah, you're heading toward the Reeves house. It's a very small town.
To Thaddeus.
Thaddeus. Yeah, not the Reeves. Sorry, the rich landowner Thaddeus, who's very sausage-like. And yeah, it only takes you a couple minutes, like 5-minute walk. It's a very small town.
Yeah.
And you see that Thaddeus was not among the group, but the lights are on in his house, and you can hear like some loud arguing happening.
Are there any windows that kind of let us see into the space?
Thaddeus has so many nice
So many
glass
that's
windows.
right. Glass windows. That's right. That's right.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
love looking in windows.
So there's these. I mean, for Bree, they'd be like normal windows. For here, they're very ostentatious, large glass windows, and there are some curtains on them, but you can definitely see that short, pudgy, sausagey Thaddeus is yelling up at someone who is very tall.
Okay.
Does this house have a more than one entrance?
It does. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say you've been in town enough to like have seen it.
Yeah.
So it has a grand-ish front entrance. It has a kind of like back kind of kitchen entrance. For if there was ever going to be any servants, he's not quite at that level because there's not really any servants to be had in this town.
No.
But he would have enough money to hire them if any servants would come this far out.
Got it.
And then there is also a like cellar where they keep a lot of their food that has an entrance itself too. It's kind of like storm door situation. in the
Okay.
back.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to cover all the doors?
I'm more than happy to cover the back.
I was happy to knock on the front door.
All right. You're gonna knock. Oof.
Oh,
Thought we were just gonna bust it all down.
that was my plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him the chance to come
Oh, fair enough.
quietly.
All right. I will take the kitchen door then, and I'm just kind of stand there and be ready, just in case people come running out when you knock.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go and stand behind Aerlind when they knock on the door.
Do the little good.
The convincing factor.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And his last name was Brick.
Birchmere.
Birchmere. My handwriting is terrible
That's
in his
okay.
last name. Birchmere.
Mhm.
Got it. Great. Because we're nothing if not polite.
You know, I think I'll go sit on the storm door.
Very good.
Very nice.
And what's your weight rating on your thing?
I love it.
14.
Okay. And that's just your gear, right?
Yeah, that's just my gear.
Okay, so you're
That doesn't
14
include
plus.
the whole.
okay. Okay, good to know.
Gonna go up to the door once everyone seems like they're in place and just very politely rap on the door.
There is a little knocker.
Oh, perfect. Even
Yeah.
better. Just
So
knock, knock.
dramatic. You hear silence. You can't quite hear what they're saying. It's like suddenly like hushed, like never. And you see like a couple of the curtains kind of are drawn suddenly.
Uh-huh.
And then the door opens. May I help you?
Oh,
And there's Thaddeus looks down. You have to, and he's in a like bright, kind of overly embroidered like nightgown with like the whole like nightcap on
Yeah.
his head. You know, he's kind of wrapped himself in like what might be like a smoking jacket because it's kind of a cold evening, and he's standing and he's opened the door as little as possible to get his somewhat pudgy face through it. And so you just kind of see like this little like sliver of his and a very very scowly face.
pardon me for the late call.
It is very late, Master Elf.
I saw that the candles were lit, so I thought I would come and alert you there's been a disturbance, and I have reason to believe that there might be something amiss on your land.
Such as.
We saw a suspicious figure enter the area.
Well, I can assure you, no such persons are in my home at the moment. Please leave.
then you would politely care to explain the person we saw in the window not a moment ago.
That was my wife. She's very upset about the commotion that is happening.
I would like to attempt to persuade him to see logic. Come now, Thaddeus.
Very big lower lip situation happening. Listening.
So the having a mark in the skill means that I roll it twice, or I add a die.
You get to have you roll 2 feat die.
Fantastic.
And you take the better of the two. Now, I am going to give you a heads up. Like, persuading him, like, he knows he's lying.
Okay.
Persuading him to give up that he's lying is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, because he knows you know, and he knows, and prove it.
I would like him to see that there is a peaceful end to this situation.
Yeah, okay.
That's the direction that I'm trying to go in.
Okay.
Fully aware that this is kind of... Aerlind likes to avoid conflict, but isn't opposed to having it when needed.
Yes.
Can I help?
Yeah, that'll I mean that beats my TN.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you succeed. And you just see on his face for a moment like hesitation. Like when you're like, come now. Well. And he kind of like does the thing where he kind of closes the door a little bit more as he turns his head to look at something. But what is happening in my home is none of your concern. And you're helping.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the way you do that, I mean, you did have a success.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to say you're narratively helping rather than really burning
Sure.
out.
It can only be within so much of a measurable, reasonable
Yes.
thing, though, because he is caught and he is being a criminal. So, like, I leave that to your discretion for sure. But
So, you can see like real conflict on his face because he does not want any of his nice things broken. He does not want to have any bruises on his very, very soft body.
I feel like Runa is just like uncrosses her arms and just starts cracking her knuckles.
Yeah, we're gonna
Charging at him.
and we're gonna say like it freezes in that moment as there's indecision on his face that he's trying to hide poorly, and
yeah.
odds, evens.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes.
Odds.
Okay.
Roll the 5. So you're at the kitchen door.
Yep.
Are you standing ready to attack?
I'm standing ready with my spear. If somebody bursts out of there, I'm gonna start sweeping the shins
Okay.
to try to knock them down.
Okay. Nice. So yeah, like you're standing there, this tall, like 6'3", like pretty tall for a human, especially like not of like the great lineages of man in Middle Earth, and very gangly and awkward. Kind of like all elbows, runs kind of scarecrow-esque out of this door. Kind of muttering, elf and elf is after me? What am I going to do with an elf? And like out of the kitchen door.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna take that swing.
Okay.
Is that going to be a spear attack, or is
Yes.
that going to be something else?
Nope,
Okay.
it's gonna be spirit.
2 pips and spear.
And they are so distracted by getting away from the scary people in the front door that they don't even consider or see you in
A
any way.
singularly scary person.
I feel like an elf is terrifying. Like just the fact that it's an elf.
It's so polite.
Yes.
All right, 2 pips and spear. I'm going to burn a hope point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm at 11
Do it.
because my strength TN is my highest one. Come on. Okay, 4, 8, 10, 16, and I got a great success.
Ooh.
Yes.
Very nice. We're not actually going to have you roll like damage on this.
Sure. Okay.
'cause He's scared. He's clearly outmatched. He knows that Thaddeus is not going to help defend him in any way. And
I
will
say-
probably
I say, it ain't the elf you gotta worry about.
Smack.
very nice. And yeah, absolutely. He just tumbles over, like almost if a human could get tangled in themselves
Uh huh.
It's almost that way. And he kind of like lands in like a heap at the bottom. There's like the 3 little stairs down, and just like lands in a heap, and just it's like, what? And then like,
Okay, are they on their front or their back?
kind of on the like just
The sort of side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Side, like,
I take my spear, I kind of like roll them onto their back, and I kind of just plant my spear like the blunt end.
Yes.
On their chest,
Okay.
and just kind of like lean on it, like.
Yeah. And
How you doing tonight?
yeah, you could put this. Now I'm just gonna clarify. Like, you wouldn't get a shadow point for having like this is a wrongdoer. Having the pointy end is not gonna get you like.
Okay,
shadow
all right.
points.
In that case, I'll kind of threaten
Okay.
them. You know,
Yeah.
just keep them at bay.
Yes. Like like trying to subdue and keep someone who's been hurting the town like at bay. Like, it's fine.
Okay, all right.
So, and you are kind of off to the side, and you hear this, and like, yeah.
Well, I think I'd like as soon as that happens, I'd probably walk over
walk
and be
over a
like,
little.
"You're lucky you picked that door."
Yes.
I think when this happens, Aerlind just kind of looks at Runa back at the door.
Yeah, and you all hear this, and you can see on Thaddeus' face as this happens, like the. And it's, yes, yeah, I'm sorry. I was afraid for my life, and the person came in my home, and they threatened me, which is why I misled you. I apologize. Come in and get them.
Thank you for your time, Thaddeus. I'm sure we'll be seeing you again very soon. Have a lovely evening.
Yes.
Don't leave town.
Yeah.
So yeah, Aerlind like turns to walk away, and Runa's like,
So glad that all of you are keeping our community safer.
She just smiles at him.
Slams the door.
All right. I guess we haul.
yeah, well,
Oh, it was Rugar?
Rugar, yeah.
Yeah. Up on their feet, and we drag them over to where all the commotion's happening right now.
Okay.
It's like,
And you can see as you get closer, like, oh look, they found another one. Da, da, da. And you can just see all the workers, like some of them are like, oh no, they found Rugar, and some are like, yeah, like on their face, you're like, they'll get him and me. And like you can just see all these different reactions from different people.
as we walk over, I think Aerlind just wants to fall in line next to Rugar. You know, you could always serve it up to a larger fish in this pond, as it were.
I don't know what you mean. Like very unconvincing. Like
Walks away.
like even for bad acting, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like the Rugar is disconcerted and scared and like not sure what to do, and like you do not get the impression they are going to be super hard to convince at any point. And as they as you drag them closer to the, it's not an angry mob, but like interested, upset townspeople. Like there's not a threat of there's not a vibe of violence.
yeah.
It's more like, hey, we won already. This is great. And like anger, we're mad at you, and we caught you. That sort of thing. And that you can see like his eyes are getting a little bit bigger.
I strongly get the vibe from this town that it's the neighborhood that like something big has happened.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of come out of their houses and they're like, oh, and they might be upset about it, but it's more like they're just taking the opportunity to tell, well, I was in my bed when I heard them come back into town.
Yeah.
And oh, well, I was up by the window practicing my guitar, you know.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing how suddenly everybody in town had something to do with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all
Absolutely.
involved. Yeah. So and that's very much the vibe. A town that where not very much happens. This is a big event and very exciting.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. I'll shove. Actually, not my ropes. I'll use that. I'll shove Rugar. You know, just kind of again at spear point, forward, and I'll tell Yam like,
This appears to be the ringleader, so far at least. From what that one said,
and I'm gonna point to the the thief that we questioned in the
Yellow
woods.
face.
Yes, there we go. Yeah. The smelly one right now. Yeah.
From what that one said over there, this tall, gangly one was the one that was paying everybody to do these misdeeds.
Yeah, and Rugar just kind of looks a little bit sheepish. Like if someone who's that tall and gangly can look into this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear the other one who you turn. That's right. He's the one who paid me. He paid us all. And he's like, "Isn't that right?" And then he like kind of elbows, like he's still tied up, but like
Mm-hmm.
jars the person next to him. Yeah, he paid me too. And then a couple of the ones on the porch are like, yeah. We only did it because he paid us to.
All right. I'm pretty close to this character, right? Were you were you kind of letting all of us hear what you had mentioned?
Yeah, oh,
when you spoke?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It was not secret in any way. It's the closest
Yeah.
you've seen to him, like,
Right.
threatening somebody. It's
Right,
like,
yeah.
You should use your brain.
Yeah. I'll whisper up to regard to it.
Sounds like you're about to take a fall, then maybe you don't have to.
He just looks very conflicted on his face. I don't know what you mean. And so Yam like walks up and looks at him. I don't recognize. Yeah, he's been working on the bridge, but yeah, he's definitely not a townsperson. What's your name? Rugar. Yeah, my voice is mixed up. Sorry, Rugar. I'm Thaddeus's great nephew.
Oh.
Which conveniently is where we found him.
Oh, and like the town's like murmuring. Yeah, I'm just like starts kind of interrogating him and asking him, and Ruger doesn't seem to be giving up much. Like it's very clear to the four of you what's happened,
Mm-hmm.
but Rugar is not like giving in. He's not being rude or threatening or anything anyway, but he is. Yep, I was trying to make money by selling. So he's basically taking the fall.
He's not letting his great uncle take the heat for this one.
Yes,
Okay.
he's admitting that it was him the whole time, and
Okay.
he was paying them, and he was trying to have a side hustle where he was going to sell the lumber. And he wanted to build a house in town too, because his uncle told him how well he was doing here, or his great uncle, and that sort of thing. I'm narrating this part because I don't want to be like one NPC interrogating the others. So.
Get you, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Just to lay out how this all came together.
Mhm.
The town hired these workers at the behest of Thaddeus? Like Thaddeus was like, hey, I know where you could get some workers to fix the bridge. Or did Thaddeus hire them directly?
They were getting paid by the town, and they were also, it seems, getting paid by Rugar as separately to steal the wood.
But
So-
like, was there any, like, I talked to Yam, right? I'd say, well,
Yeah, Yam was paying these workers from the town coffers,
yes.
much less than they were probably making stealing the wood.
But these workers, how did you hire them? Like, did you send away to find workers? Or did Thaddeus say, oh, I know my nephew's got a team that could come and build,
I was unaware that it was Thaddeus's nephew, but Thaddeus did arrange for the workers. It does seem a little bit of nepotism to have him hiring his great nephew. It seems a little odd, but yes.
I think you could perhaps make the point of that to the townspeople that might be interested in continuing to vote for you.
Oh,
Just,
that is a very good idea. Goodness, it greatly disturbs me to see such nepotism in Creek's Crossing. Goodness, and what honest, inhonest, dishonest.
Mhm.
Things are happening here in this town when we trusted Great Thaddeus to do what was best for all of us. And they're, oh, yes, what a great orator. Yes, absolutely. Didn't say
What a
orator.
great order.
They're like, "Oh,
This
no,
random
there's-
townsperson is like, "Oh, that's the best orator I've ever seen." What do you know?
Yes. And so it seems definitely that the vibe is like, oh, and then someone like shouts out, yeah, thank you so much for catching me. Thank you so much. You're a
Yeah.
great leader.
And like kind of unsubtly, Aerlind is also like, and thank you for tasking us with this reeve.
Thank you so much for just. And then he kind of gets what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was my pleasure to bring in such excellent adventurers, and they were so great at finding and searching and sleuthing and
Subduing.
subduing and searching and doing a great job of finding all the people who were hurting our town. Thank you. Yes. And a round of applause for our heroes yet again. And like there's like woo, like a very like raucous rural cheer goes up for all of you.
Oh, I don't know about you all, but I'm knackered.
It has been a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's very like awkward when you say that. Oh. Maybe.
Tired.
Oh, yes, tired. Yes. That's a great order.
I'm actually kind of wired. I think I might go have a pint at the tavern. Anybody want to join me?
Yeah, I'll take you up on that. I'll be. Yeah. That'll at least help put me to sleep, I suppose.
It's been a while since I had that much fun.
So this town doesn't actually have like a jail or
Nope.
anything like that. So they've got like a kind of a storage house that they've kind of put these few in, including Rugar. There seems to be this sentiment that like it was not a great choice for Thaddeus to hire his nephew. That's very selfish, kind of a greedy move. But Rugar has, at this point at least, as far as the people who are here, like kind of mob mentality at the moment, a lot of them depend on Thaddeus for their jobs.
Sure.
So it's going to take a kind of a lot. So they're like, oh, that was greedy and nepotism's bad. But, Rugar, you took advantage of your poor uncle and, started stealing from the town when he trusted you with this job and that sort of thing. And so they are safely put in the storehouse with people taking watches on the bolted door. A bunch of people have gone to the tavern. They're like, hey, we're up in the middle of the night. We might as well talk about this.
Oh no, there's people talking.
Yeah.
Oh no, Aerlind's like, I was tired.
They're all going to talk about this for a
They start
Yeah.
walking by, and Aaron's like, "Oh, I'm tired," and then someone walks by, like telling a version of the story, and you just see his eyes sparkle.
Runa, you're going in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow suit, and eventually, over the course of the night, the loot's gonna make the beaten loot's gonna make it out, and I'm just gonna start singing songs about about kind of what had happened, what we found in the woods, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good.
Yeah, Runa will pantomime the fights for the interested townsfolk.
Oh yeah, I will totally spin it that way too about how much butt you kicked
yeah.
in the woods.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are you doing this whole time, Hannar?
I think I probably immediately went in and went up to a room to go to sleep.
Okay.
But when the music starts, I'd probably come back down, in the pajama version of my normal outfit, right? It's probably just sort of like a full striped outfit, just with different colors and stuff. And I'd probably come back down, and bring my I forget what we ended up calling it.
I don't think we picked a name.
Yeah.
Yeah. we talked about it on the Discord, and I forgot the
Dwarven
name.
hunting
okay.
machine.
Yeah, but yeah, my dwarven
Yeah.
weirdness. And I'll bring it back downstairs, and I'll probably just start laying down like a sort of a melody behind the story, behind the fight. You know, like I give it the full like classic Star Trek, na 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 na, you know, like, kind of a thing.
As it's going on, actually, Aerlind is writing the song that is kind of off the cuff, I would assume.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah, it's
he's
pretty
writing
contemporary,
it, and just enjoying tonight, not actually playing along.
That's cool.
I'd be like, I don't have my drum, but Runa uses like the tankard and stomps to like make a beat to go with
Nice.
the
That's
music that
awesome.
they're playing.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, you were creating this song, and town is joining in as they can. Like once they kind of pick out the melody with some like crude other instruments. There's a fiddler and some things like that. And late into the night, you're enjoying it. Everyone's just about to start trickling off, and like the tavern door opens, and there is a huge dog who's very familiar, standing right next to a very imposing tall figure, which is Loremaster. And just boom, the door opens, standing there, very cinematic, and then you see Ranyar like see you, and you can just see like if a dog could like grin like happy to see you, that's what happens, and then you with that like one like bark of greeting, and then you see like a smirk on Laren's face. Oh, something happening, and then we're gonna end for tonight.
Yeah. All right.
So very nice. That went pretty well. I feel like the
Yeah.
combat went well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Go ahead. You can take right now. You can 3 skill pips or sorry,
Adventure.
adventure points and skill points. So you can spend those before our next session. And
Sweet.
yeah, we are going to how's everyone doing as far as endurance? The one good thing about the hard combat is, as hard as it is for you to hit, it's also equally hard to hit you. So I don't think did
Yeah.
anybody actually get.
I took like a hit,
That's right.
but I'm at 20 out of 23 with 8 load.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm at 24.
I'm still missing 3 from the journey
Okay.
because I travel bad, but
Okay.
other than that, I'm good.
we'll probably say it like you're gonna have a good night's rest after this, a good-ish night's rest.
Sleep a
And
little late.
yeah, it's sleep a little late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, and you'll probably be in town for a day or two. So
Okay.
we can say that we'll start the next session.
Rested up.
Yeah, rest of
Okay.
so you
Well,
won't have
full endurance.
full endurance. yeah.
Okay. It also says for hope
Mhm.
that we regain what is it? Our heart rating in hope
Mhm.
between adventures. Would we regain that now too then, or like is this considered sort of like still in the middle of something?
Let me restoring hope equal to their heart score. Let me look into that and double check that.
Sure.
But we
yeah,
do
totally.
in between each session we do get all our fellowship points back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
right.
refresh
Okay,
back up
so
to
we're
full
back.
on
Finally
this.
used
full.
one.
Yay.
Yeah, so you can start using those a little bit more freely. I know it's with game economies. It's always a little bit like nervous at first. Do I spend this? Do I know?
Yeah. Is this a big enough threat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I do
Are
this?
we gonna come around the corner and there's something even worse?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we know that Runa's a beast.
Right. Yeah.
That was
I
pretty
also
amazing.
rolled pretty decently, which
Yeah.
is unusual.
It makes
Uh,
a big difference in that. So absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been a fantastic session. Very fun. And I didn't mind the combat. I think we're gonna stick with the
Yeah.
combat as written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pretty
Flowed
intimidating to
fine,
read
yeah.
through. But then, like, once I started practicing it a couple times, I was like, okay, this flows pretty well. It flows better in practice, like I said, than in reading it.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode 3
Yeah.
of the Unsung Tales. I'd like to thank our chat mods for their amazing hard work, and thank you to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. It's because of you that we're able to play games we enjoy without worrying about pleasing publishing companies or system popularity for subscriptions. You can enjoy their heroic ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. And let's have our amazing crew introduce themselves. We're going to start over here with Hannah.
Uh-huh. I'm Kadave. I'm having so much fun coming to do this. It's exciting to be back and doing it with people in a room.
Nice.
Like, that's super fun. And yeah, I just can't wait to see where we go next. Like,
Yeah.
that's very excited.
Hi everybody, I'm Jay, and I played Sausage tonight. And yes, I agree, it's really, really great playing this with all of you and learning the system. Yeah, it's a really great feeling system actually. Like kind of once you figure everything out,
Mhm.
like know the roles and stuff like that. So yeah, really happy to be here. You can find me on the various social medias under J Africa, except Instagram, which is under transplantation because lack of foresight.
There's always one. that
Yeah,
you
right.
didn't get
That
in
is
time.
just slightly different. Yeah. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing where we all go from
I
here.
know.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I've been Aerlind of Mithlond. You can find me on all social media platforms as Estelle of Imladris. You don't have to have the foresight if you've had the same screen name since you were 12. You can find me on wow, I just totally drew a blank. I'm releasing a podcast that the second episode just came out as a holiday special called Elf Crimes. It's a noir holiday detective story. It's a one-page original game system published by Rascal Cat Games, who's also the game master and a member of our group. It's very fun. It's full of horrible holiday puns. So also happy holidays, happy Hanukkah. I know that
Yeah.
just started, and happy holidays to everybody. And I'll see you soon.
And I'm Sam. I've played Runa, your friendly neighborhood chaos monster who likes to hit things with a sword. You can find me on the internets pretty much everywhere at Red Pandroid and here on Mondays playing this, which is very, very fun and I love it.
Yay, I know. I'm having so much fun. Hi, I'm Kimi. I've been your Loremaster for this game. You can find me everywhere at Golden Lasso Girl, except on TikTok where I'm Golden Lasso RPGs. Because I was like, TikTok's not going to take off. Okay, I'm going to set someone already took the name. Or what probably really happened, I signed up for the name and then forgot.
Oh, your
Password.
profile and all that.
So you can find me here on Mondays. I'm also here almost every Friday, except when I'm sick, for our advice show. And so that happens at 7:30 on Fridays. And that's it for right now. You can also find all my games that I design at goldenlassogames.com, which is a beautiful website that I just redid. So check it out. And yeah, I think that's everything. You can tune back in. I know we were on Tuesday night this week because of some scheduling and also the aforementioned sickness. So you can turn in next Monday. And please check happyjacks.org/schedule to check like through the holidays. Some of the games are getting bumped around a little bit or not playing certain weeks because of, holidays. So enjoy and thank you so much. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.